does chorizo sausage originate from? We will go to Sarah and see if we can get an answer.
Sarah.
Hi, hey, Sarah. Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry to bother you at work.
No, we need to know, what country does chorizo sausage originate from?
Spain?
Spain is correct.
Wow. I thought it was Mexico.
Hang on, Sarah. We are going to give you a $50 Metro Diner dining card. And Metro Diner has launched a summer of waffles. And an entire season devoted to the savory sweet breakfast classic. Earn a dining discount and prices by taking a summer waffle staycation at your local Metro Diner. You can visit metrodiner.com for details.
I'm making waffles.
All right, let's get into some of the stories. We're going to start with this unfortunate one. Randy Meisner, the retired co-founding member of the Eagles, has passed away. He was 77 years old. A statement was released last Thursday. He passed away. Most beloved albums, including Desperado, Eagles, On the Border, One of These Nights, and Hotel California.
Such great stuff.
The band posted in part saying Randy was an integral part of the Eagles and instrumental in the early success of the band. His vocal range was astonishing, as is evident on his signature ballad, Take It to the Limit. Don Felder once called him the sweetest man in the music business. Prior to his success with the Eagles, he was bassist for the band Poco, and he was also in Rick Nelson's Stone Canyon Band in the late 60s.
I love Poco, too.
In the early 80s, he charted solo songs on the Billboard pop charts, including a song called Deep Inside My Heart. It was a duet with Kim Carnes and Hearts on Fire as well. The high harmony vocalist also played and sang on other artists' records, including James Taylor's Sweet Baby James album. In 1998, when the Eagles were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he performed Take It Easy and Hotel California with them as well. He was married twice. First time he was still in his teens, and then he was married to his second wife until she passed away in 2016. And that was a bizarre incident.
It was, the gun discharge.
And it was inside of a case. Somehow or another, it was loaded and it shot through the case and killed her. And he was cleared. They weren't sure because I think they may have been arguing or something, but it was very, very strange. But sad news to hear. Randy Meisner, 77 years old, and he had 3 children. I have some other news to pass along. Bam Margera returned to Westchester yesterday, appearing before Chester County Judge to answer to charges stemming from the allegations that he assaulted his brother and made terroristic threats toward other family members. He was wearing a suit, had lawyers there. He strode into the Justice Center smiling, stopping to pose for photos. He flew in from California the morning of the hearing and said he intended to fly right back to his home in San Diego. But after learning that Bam had failed to check in regularly with his pretrial officer and had not yet submitted his drug and alcohol evaluation to the court, the judge had other plans, ordering him to remain within the 5-county Philadelphia region until the case against him was resolved and to report to a rehabilitation center in Devon by this morning. So the judge said, you ain't going anywhere, man.
Yeah.
In fact, the judge said, everyone's here for you, sir. There are many people who sit in your chair who have no one. Remember that. And he motioned to Bam's family, who was in the court, before holding over a misdemeanor count of assault and 2 counts of making terroristic threats. In addition to sending him to the treatment facility, he also ordered Bam to cooperate with random drug and alcohol screenings and to avoid criminal contact with his brother Jesse and his brother's girlfriend. He is free on a $50,000 unsecured bail. So Jesse took the stand and said a few things. He said, I just want my brother back. He said, I want him to be well again.
Yes.
And he kind of recounted what happened, and I'm going to go through a little bit of this, not all of it. But he was in town visiting his family for a couple of weeks. He was staying at the house known as Castle Bam. And Jesse said it was pretty chill for the first few days, and then it started getting really bad. Bam began partying with friends. He said he seemed more inebriated. His behavior started getting more and more frightening. And he added that Jesse's children were supposed to visit for the weekend, but he no longer felt comfortable having them in the home. And he said, you don't know if he's going to tell you a funny story or stab you with a broken whiskey bottle. And the morning of the alleged assault, he awoke, found a note that was signed by Bam outside his door, threatening him if he even thought about calling police. Jesse said he then walked downstairs to find his brother writing, quote, his own alphabet on the kitchen table in a language that he had developed.
Yeah, he's been working on this stuff for years.
And talking to someone who wasn't there, he said. After Bam saw a text on his brother's phone from a friend suggesting that he be placed in a psychiatric hospital, Jesse said his younger brother repeatedly punched him, scraping his nose with his rings and rupturing Jesse's eardrum, which he said leaked fluid for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Bam also urinated in the kitchen sink. That's my move.
Yeah, you do that, man. That's standard
that's
practice.
not that
That's
bad.
bad. And had smashed a bunch of stuff, his brother said, including a guitar once belonging to Billy Idol, which was a gift from Bam to April, to his mom. According to his brother, Bam had threatened that weekend to, quote, put a bullet in the head of Jesse and their parents and put a bear trap on the leg of Jesse's girlfriend, who eventually ended up calling the police. And then we know what happened after.
We were watching some of the footage. I didn't realize that Phil appears to be wheel-chair bound.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's all about.
Oh, get out. Is he still big?
He's huge.
Yeah. Okay. The judge seemed like he's trying to help, saying that you can't get back on a plane, you can't go there, pointing out that his family was there and that people who are often in his situation don't have family backing him in the courtroom. So it seemed like this guy was trying to help get him into rehab. And
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
We'll see.
We will see, man. Maybe it'll be different coming from here.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe something will happen because he's around here, but it's hard to say because there are enablers around, The romance rumors surrounding Ariana Grande and her Wicked co-star Ethan Slater have all but been confirmed as true, and Slater's wife, Lily J., whom he filed for divorce from on Wednesday, spoke with Page Six about the pair's relationship. And she said, Ariana's the story, really, not a girl's girl. She said, my family is just collateral damage. She added that she's focused on being a good mom to the child she welcomed with Slater last year, and that the story is her and Dalton, referring to Grande's split from her husband.
I thought he'd be bigger.
Dalton Gomez. Now, back off, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Don't hurt. Be nice.
So, yeah.
It sucks, man. It sucks for her. She was devastated. Everything I've read in interviews with her, it came out of the blue. So Ariana Grande enters this guy's life, and he just says, okay, I'm done with this, and moves on.
I hear Ariana is a bit snooty.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody emailed me years ago that was her daughter was an early fan of Ariana, but before she became super duper famous, and would go and support events when no one else was there, hardly anybody was there, and they got to know each other. And then once she hit, Ariana started just ignoring them and was kind of rude. That's what, totally.
It's out of there.
That was it. So.
You remember that footage of her licking a donut?
Yeah, I remember that. All right, so the Walking Dead actress, Alexa Nicholas, I had to look her up. She's a younger cast member. Further described Jonah Hill allegedly slamming her into a door and kissing her when she was a teenager on Wednesday's Off the Rails podcast. This incident allegedly took place at Justin Long's house during a party in 2008. She said, he didn't say anything. He just slams me across the door. He just puts his tongue right in my mouth, and I just remember it moving around. It was really intense. And she said, I just remember being startled and kind of just grossed out. And I tried to push him away, and I did, actually, and he ended up backing away, and I remember turning around and running upstairs.
So I'm trying to follow all this stuff that's going on here with this Jonah Hill stuff. There were apparently there's a text exchange.
Is this the same person?
No.
This is a different person.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, and the text stuff didn't seem that bad, but some of this other stuff seems like it's certainly caddish at this level. I haven't seen anyone come forth with like a Marilyn Manson charge.
Right. And he's obviously he struggles with his own mental demons because he had the documentary on Netflix
with
about his therapist.
Yeah,
Stutz, right? Is that what that was called?
Yeah, Stutz.
Yeah.
I watched some of it. I meant to get back to it. The guy is a great therapist.
I think that's why the text exchange bothered me so much, because he was really being manipulative with his ex-girlfriend, and he was using like psychological terms in order to gaslight her, and I don't know, it wasn't physical abuse, but it was definitely mental abuse.
So this gal
I didn't see the text. What was he saying?
He was trying to control her in ways that were I don't know. I don't want to misspeak, and I don't want to derail the conversation. Yeah.
You know what, Nick? I guarantee you there are text exchanges like that on countless phones across the country, but dragged into the light.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it right by any stretch of the imagination, but you see it in the framework of him, and it's like, that's not good.
It was skeezy, and the things that he was doing to her, and then she didn't realize it at the time, and then she sort of looked back on it, and after they had broken up, that's why she released these things, and releasing them to the public is also its own issue, you know. So it was complicated, but he really was being pretty, I don't know, seedy with her.
Okay,
he should talk to OJ.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
that guy knows how to handle things.
All right, so moving on to Lisa Rinna.
Yes.
She recently celebrated her 60th birthday and gave her 2 cents on the matter of Albert Alar, Days of Our Lives director and co-executive producer, being subject to an internal investigation for accusations of misconduct. The actress wrote with a photo of him on her Instagram story, "Karma is a bitch," and later added, "Well, this took a long time. The last time I went over there and did that week on Peacock, I couldn't believe the work environment." She said, "It was disgusting. I was shocked. I let many people know, Albert included, and they didn't do anything until now, it seems."
Away from me, you disgusting, disgusting beast.
She was a cast staple and began a role in the 90s and later reprised a role in the 2000s and then appeared for a week in 2018. So she further explained herself saying, "I went back to play Billy in 2021 for Days of Our Lives Beyond Salem, and I was there for 1 week only. I was shocked by the hostile environment that it had become, and I was afraid for the young actors who had to continue to work there." She said, "I went to the producer. I even spoke with Sony HR. I wonder where the union is now. I wonder where the union is in this and how this was left unchecked." He was subjected to an investigation after layoffs in March, which some claimed unfairly targeted female employees. As the investigation continued, more allegations came out of Alar displaying inappropriate behavior, bullying, making crass and vulgar remarks, and even groping female crew members.
Yes.
He has allegedly admitted to some of the misconduct, but
I did that.
not all of it. So
what?
They are going to, I guess, look deeper into the issue. The Corday Productions said that they are.
How many soap operas are currently in production?
Handling things. That's a good question.
How many soap operas exist?
Yeah.
It used to be all that was on, and now are there 2?
Yeah, you'd be hard-pressed to find them at any time. A couple other quick things, and then we'll move on to some clips and whatnot. According to the New York Post, Tina Fey might be returning to Saturday Night Live to fill in for Lorne Michaels after he retires.
Whoa.
Interesting.
I would give that a thumbs up.
Right?
Yeah.
A source told the outlet that she is being courted for the executive producer role. However, Michaels...
Are they going to give her an office?
I would hope so.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah. However, Michaels told the New York Times in an interview last year that he has no plans to retire. But, I mean...
It's not going to happen.
At some point... you hang it up. So
My daughter just she's following in the footsteps of Tina Fey. She's wrapping up a production with Summer Stage at Upper Darby High School.
There you go.
And that's something that Tina Fey had done when she was growing up in the area.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then one last thing: the grandson of J. Robert Oppenheimer, Charles Oppenheimer, spoke with Time Magazine recently about a scene in the new movie that he takes issue with. In Oppenheimer, a young J. Robert Oppenheimer poisons an apple on his professor's desk after the pair get into a heated exchange. However, Charles claims this is not historically accurate. He said there's no record of him trying to kill somebody. He said that's a real serious accusation, and it's historical revision. There's not a single enemy or friend of Robert Oppenheimer who heard that during his life and considered it to be true.
Said he also had an issue with a scene where Oppenheimer chases this legendary wave down to Australia, Preston.
The 50-year storm for real?
Right. And he says that never happened.
I had no idea. Bells, Australia. Wow. Okay, Bells Beach.
Yeah.
All right. It's Friday. That means movies. We will begin with The Haunted Mansion, a fantasy comedy starring Lakeith Stanfield, Tiffany Haddish, Owen Wilson, and others. A woman and her son enlist a motley crew of so-called spiritual experts to help rid their home of supernatural squatters. Wow. 2 hours and 2 minutes long, rated PG-13. It is a wide theater release, Rotten Tomatoes score at 40%. All right, you know what's fun? So you did the Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Wow. Yesterday, just flipping through channels because I'm a channel surfer, and Marley and Me came on. So Caroline was there. She'd never seen it.
Did you watch it all?
So we started watching it. I had to leave.
It'll kill you.
So I left, okay?
Yeah.
And later on, I come home and Caroline goes, "This is a picture of me at the end of Marley and Me." She's got tears running down her face.
It'll kill you.
I know.
It'll kill you. And you know it'll do it. Another one, the Art of Racing in the Rain. Have you watched that?
No,
It is another one on that level. If you are not a ball of tears by the end of that movie, because it's dog related again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't cry at Marley and Me.
You laughed.
Really?
No,
When is
I
this
didn't
thing going to
laugh.
die?
It was a decent movie, but I mean, we all knew what was going to happen.
Well, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's getting all over the place.
It's a lovely film.
Yeah, I cried reading the book, and I was surprised at
I read the
that.
book,
And
too.
then not only that, not just when he dies, but there's a point where and the dog, like it's like he knows that and puts her lap. I knew that he's good. I was like,
I don't understand.
We had the author of that book in studio, John
Yes.
Brogan. He wrote a second book. He's a lot of Philly ties.
He's
Yeah,
an Inquirer writer.
I read that book. It's called The Longest Ride Home, or
Yeah,
something along those lines.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah, that's a sad one too,
It is,
man.
yeah.
Tremendously sad.
That's his. He talks about his childhood and his dad passing and getting older. He's a really great writer.
He is. I wonder if he's done anything lately. All right. Other film opening. One other one. Susie Searches. It's comedy and mystery, starring Kiersey Clemens.
She's the beginning love interest in the Justice League. The Flash saves her in Zack Snyder's cut. She's got in the car. That's her.
Alex Wolff and Jim Gaffigan as well. How far will the podcaster go to capture her audience? Susie, an awkward college student with a failing true crime podcast, seizes the opportunity to boost her campus and online popularity by solving the mystery of the missing hometown heartthrob.
Sounds like a Nancy Drew type thing.
But things take a dark turn as Susie digs out the truth and soon finds herself in over her head. It is an hour and 45 minutes long. Steve, I didn't get the Rotten Tomatoes score. You remember it?
I think it was like a 48%.
Okay. All right. So mid-level. All right. And now we can do the clips.
Wait, you missed one. There's another review.
It must not have printed up.
That horror movie we were talking about.
The one with the hand?
I will call it up right now if you
All
got
right.
a second.
Yeah, sure.
Hold the phone.
Hold the timpani.
Hold the phone. It is called Talk to Me. It's the horror you were mentioning yesterday. Sophie Wilde, Miranda Otto, and Joe Bird. When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far. An hour and 34 minutes, rated R, wide theater release. Rotten Tomatoes, Preston?
Yeah.
94%.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they've been the little flashes of reviews that have been popping up for this are like, scariest movie in decades and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So, all right. That's a solid review. All right, let's now do the clips. Here we go. So Jackie Chan has teamed up with John Cena for a new movie called Hidden Strike. And in this clip, Cena talks about moving to China, immersing himself into the culture during filming.
This, for me, is a wonderful opportunity to become accustomed to a new culture, to learn from so many great people, and study under the greatest of all time.
Hidden Strike arrives on Netflix today in the U.S., by the way. After a hugely successful run in the box office, Transformers Rise of the Beast is now streaming on digital. And here, director Stephen Caple Jr. Looks back on the movie's release and head to the franchise's future. Here we go.
No, we put a lot into it, and I'm excited for where the franchise is going to go in the future. There's a lot of places it could go, but just the setup and the foundation we've done in this movie, and people are now relating to the characters, and I feel like we gained a few fans back, that maybe have drifted. Like, I'm really hyped for what we can do.
Shut up, dummy.
Transformers: Rise of the Beast is out now on Paramount Plus.
So this is popular because it deals with that part in the Transformers history or lore where they were animals.
They had like Dinobots,
right,
insecticides.
Right. All right, that's the entertainment report, friends. So we have some stuff going on today. What?
Not insecticides. Insecticides is what you use to kill bugs.
Yeah.
But yes, I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Insecticons.
Insecticons.
Yeah. And douchebags.
I just need
dildos.
I just need some resolution on this before I move on.
Dildacons.
Okay. Outside of Dildacons
and vibratobots
and all that stuff and GoBots and whatever else we're doing here, we do have Orlando Jones going to be joining us on the program, and our friends from Jersey Mike's have arrived, so we have some giveaways in conjunction with them stopping by today, so we'll get you set for that, and definitely got to do the Connoisseur. It's a Friday deal. So we'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll get into all of this stuff on our Friday morning together. Hang out, why don't you?
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Fresh from our Acme Lounge.
Yeah.
Finally, we're getting to use it.
Yeah, exactly. They have arrived in our studio via the UK, and we actually hung out with them in London. They came by our live broadcast when the Eagles were playing, and we did a few days in London, and they are in town filming for their YouTube series, and they're great people. We love them. Give some love to Joel and Leah, who are here.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Yeah. We're good. We're even happier you've used that music.
Yeah. Of course.
Very royal.
Iconic. As soon as it came on, I was like, this is incredible.
Any American show, whenever, and this has been for decades, whenever they go to London or England, there is a stock shot of Big Ben, and that's the music that plays to show the transition. It is almost guaranteed.
They'll show a car going across Tower Bridge, and
and that's it.
The music
every
gets
time.
played.
Oh, I know where we are.
Mhm.
And of course, you'll hear like Paris. You get the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah.
All the stand. Oh, here's where we are.
Yeah, every time. So listen, you guys, when did you get to the States?
Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And flew into Philadelphia or New York, or where'd you go?
Yeah, Philadelphia. We got detained. That was
Yeah,
fun.
detained.
I told Casey about it. It was, we were terrified. U.S. border control. So scary.
So detained, what did they...
Well, detained might be a bit dramatic, but they took us aside. They took our passports away, took us into secondary questioning.
Oh.
They separated us. They went through all our luggage. They were asking us all these probing
Joel,
questions.
my palms are sweating as we read
I know,
it.
same.
I get it. And we're so innocent. That's
And
the problem.
they don't smile at you, right? Like
No.
there's no
No.
like, don't worry, we're just gonna. It's like you think you're, something. You've
The
done
thing to
something.
do,
Yeah.
and the way to deflect immediately, if you ever get in that situation, is say, we don't have any bombs.
Yeah, I've heard
And then
that.
they'll react. No, it is a weird thing, and I think a lot of people go through, I know I do. I'm always like, I know that I'm completely, there's nothing, it's clean, but
Yeah,
you're
but
like,
you're
you
nervous.
can't help it. When they
Yeah.
start pointing their attention at you, you're going to start getting nervous.
Oh, yeah. I
And
was like, Joel, we need to get our story straight. He was like, what story? we just tell the truth.
If you're not familiar with Joel and Leah, they have this YouTube series, and they do a lot of comparisons to American culture and British culture, and that's where they jumped on our radar because they'll do fun things like sampling food. I watched a video this morning of you, Joel, driving in the United States for the first time.
Yeah.
And that was in Orlando,
gosh,
I
it's
think.
playing.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was. Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
listen. When we went to London, after spending a couple days, in advance, I'm like, I'm wondering if I could be able to drive here or not. And after spending a couple days, actually 5 minutes, I'm like, no.
No.
Way would I be able to. And London is a major metropolitan area. So being able to drive in, maybe I could pull it off in the country, but in a
No.
city, forget it, man.
Really? You think you could do country roads? They are terrifying. They're
Are
so
they?
small and narrow, and you feel like everyone's going to hit you, and it's really scary.
Okay,
you know
I'll
what
just
happens?
write off the whole country.
Anytime, so years ago, we'd gone over when Guinness was giving away, they used to have a promotion where they give away pubs in Ireland. Like you'd get the
Wow.
pub, you'd get the whole business. And so we went over, and I don't think we even drove then, Preston. I think Marilyn's friend drove around.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always thinking of that story years ago when, remember, Matthew Broderick was over, and he was driving with, I think, Aaron, who was
yeah,
from
Jennifer
Gray.
Yeah.
And they were on the wrong side of the road, and they collided with the family, and it was a horrible story. I'm like, nah, because it's such a you've been driving so long here.
Yeah. You've trained your whole life.
My fear is I would just lapse back into the wrong side.
Did you like driving on the right side of the road?
It was scary, and I did start driving with one foot on each pedal because I drive a manual, so an automatic. And Leah was like, "Why is it so jerky?" And she's like, "Have you got a foot on each pedal?" I was like, "Yeah."
We
so
sound
I
like
forgot.
so intelligent on this show.
But it was easy in the end because your roads are wider. I feel like, especially in Florida, people don't get angry. There's so much road rage in the UK, and in Florida, they were just like, "Nah, you cut me up, it's fine."
It's really funny because Brits are quite polite. Well, we're kind of polite-ish. But then on
Not
the
in a car.
road, we have this alter ego where we feel like we can say anything behind the car.
And there probably is road rage here, but just where we were in Florida, they were just...
No, there is.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised to hear that there's a lot in England. Everyone does seem... I mean, obviously, you always make these sweeping generalities. Everyone's so pleasant. But you're saying that's out on the road, behind the wheel, it's a different story.
Totally different story.
But you know what? It's probably not scary to you guys because you're just like, oh, you idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
So while you're in the area, how much time are you spending in Philadelphia and filming here?
So, yeah, we have 6 days in total.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Which is kind of short, but we're hoping to just do all the touristy stuff. And obviously, we're going to try Philly cheesesteak as well. So we haven't
First
done that yet.
time.
First time, yeah. So excited.
Philly cheesesteak, you got to try several of them.
Yeah,
Several.
all of them.
You can't. I mean, they're all over the place. And so,
Oh, wow.
But we can point you guys in the right direction if you need some places to go to. Yeah.
When you travel, because when we came over to London, you sort of feel compelled to do the touristy stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily get a taste of the city or the country when you do that. When you guys travel, do you bang out the touristy stuff and then dive a little deeper, or what's your approach?
It's really funny. Tell them about the love thing.
Well, yeah, so everyone was banging on about the love sculpture here, and like, you need to see it. And then we got there, and it was just like this tiny little love
Yeah,
sign.
right.
We looked at it and we went, no, surely not.
Surely not.
Surely
but we
not.
do try to hit all of the touristy stuff.
Wait, so you didn't like the love statue?
We just
I
went,
thought it'd
no,
be
we've not
huge.
come halfway across the world for that. No, come on.
Like,
Make
it's all
it make
very
sense.
cute. Like, it's nice. Love's great. We love love.
Oh, we
But
love love.
It's just a very small sculpture.
You're right. It's not.
It's unimpressive.
Yeah, it's not like an art masterpiece. As in, wow, how did they make
It's the
that,
word
you
love.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
it's a nice positive message. It's,
Yeah. We thought, no wonder they detained us at the airport. They don't believe we're tourists. There's nothing to see.
right. They're just bored. But it's like the Liberty Bell, which whenever somebody comes here, I never say go see the Liberty Bell. It's underwhelming. It's a crack bell. I get it, but there's a lot of stuff down there that And we did a thing years ago about people who have lived here all their lives and have not seen it. It's just So you will leave, I'm sure, seeing more than a lot of Philadelphians have seen in your 6 days here.
Okay.
Do you guys do all the planning of what you want to do while you're here, or do you? Yeah, you do it.
So loose planning, don't we? And then most of it's just like make it up as we go along. But we will have a few.
And we get recommendations from our viewers as well. We rely heavily on that because we want to make videos for them. So we're like, well, what do you want to see?
Yeah.
So most of the times it will be all the touristy stuff. And we would like to go off the beaten track, but we don't often have the time to do that.
Well, I think that's the charm, is that you're doing the stuff that everyone says initially would say, I'd like to check that out. So these recon trips where you're going and you come here, and obviously most of what you do is predicated on the differences and similarities. How many times a year, outside of a COVID scenario, would you make the trip to the States?
Yeah, we used to do quite a few, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then COVID just sort of meant that couldn't happen. So,
Maybe
what we're
3
aiming
trips
for.
a year?
At least 3?
3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4. That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like 6 days, you can get like everything done and then some in 6 days here.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt. I don't even know what you've done so far and what you have planned for today.
So, what have we done so far, Joel? You're the map.
far-
Joel's the map.
We
I'm just the wandering follower.
we went to Reading Terminal Market for
Okay.
breakfast.
Good cause.
Loved it.
That was nice.
Well,
and
did
then
you go to Dick's? Because there's a one of the shops in there has what has been labeled the greatest sandwich in the United States is
Wow.
at Reading Terminal Market.
Really? Did they just write that on the poster,
Yeah,
or did they actually?
They
been
didn't write it. It was I can't remember which foodie or which but it was like
Yeah.
It wasn't a Philadelphian who said it. It was
Okay.
somebody who has toured the whole country and said, "This is the
That is the
greatest."
best sandwich.
You will bet that, I mean, there's a lot of great food here. That's one thing. I mean, Philly, over the course of the time that we've been doing the show, has become a real foodie city.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great stuff to check out. And as Preston was right, you can't do one cheesesteak. You're going to have to do a couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
That's fine with
That's
us.
interesting. Yeah, I can see the title now of that video. We tried the best sandwich in America.
Yes,
That'd be
right.
quite good.
That'd be
Yeah.
good. We also talking about soft pretzels. Apparently, that's a
Apparently
Philly
that's a
thing.
thing.
Someone
is.
said tomato pie. And then I
Yes.
told that to someone, and they were like, "What is
Yes.
that?"
That's
Is
what we
that-
call
what
it
is
too.
that?
Tomato
Oh,
pie.
tomato.
Tomato pie.
Tomato pie. Yeah. So yes, it's kind of like pizza.
Okay.
But
Without the cheese.
Without the cheese,
Oh, and it's
and it's
cold.
usually
It's
served
cold.
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
and
really
it has a
nothing like
sweetness to
pizza.
it too.
It's sweet.
It's
You're
yeah.
sweet.
really selling it, guys.
Yeah, it's unique and it's good, but
Corporalese.
You have to
Corporalese.
go
You gotta
Corporalese.
sit at Corporalese to get there.
Okay.
They're our favorite tomato pie for sure.
And
Gosh.
the sweetness, I think, is what will surprise you. Is that it definitely has that taste to it. And it took a while for me to acclimate to it. You probably also have to do crab fries, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, Chickies and Pete's.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Those
crab
are
fries.
too.
Why didn't you call us? We would give you a whole list.
I
There's
listen,
so much food
I
choice,
put
yeah.
I put Leah in touch with Marissa. I said she is Philadelphia, like
Right.
and anything and everything that you need to know. And actually, because you're Greek as well.
Yeah.
One of her best friends owns a Greek restaurant, and it's what's it called? Hopa.
Oppa.
Yeah.
Oppa.
Oppa.
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
so she owns a nice restaurant in the city of Philadelphia. But like,
That's
if you
awesome.
really needed to consult anybody about anything you needed to see and do in the city, Marissa's your person.
Is there a Sixers game while they're here?
There's a Sixers, yeah, and LeBron James
Yeah.
is in town.
Is
LeBron
that,
James.
wow, you're joking.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought I pretended to be a fangirl then, but that's quite impressive. Isn't
Yeah,
it? Is that at the Wells Fargo?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Well, I did do a little bit of research. So, yeah.
Where are you guys staying in the city, downtown?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we won't say where.
No,
No,
not
no,
exactly.
no.
Yeah.
Last time we said where we were in a
Oh my
hotel,
gosh.
we just got so much food sent to the hotel, so maybe we
my
should
gosh.
say it.
Honestly,
We
they
got
kept
Cuban
calling
sandwiches,
us.
we got cheese, deliveries of just cheese, because we said on a live stream how we
We
wanted
said we were hungry.
cheese.
They
and
started
then-
sending food.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was
God.
amazing.
Bruno Brothers.
That's very cool that your viewers are that
Yeah.
nice and that look
Amazing.
out
Oh,
for
they
you.
are, yeah.
We got to send them to Italian Market. Take a
Yes.
look at that down that way because you mentioned cheese. DeBruno Brothers is down there, right?
Yeah, De Bruno's actually all over the place.
Are you
Yeah.
guys
You know-
museum people?
We've got a cool one. We've
There's
got
one
a
called
super
the,
cool
The
one.
Muter Museum. It's
Yeah.
written like mutter, but it's pronounced Muter Museum, and it's oddities, and it's weird like medical
Medical.
anomalies and stuff like that. And it's a really cool building on top of it. So if you want to go see some weird, gross stuff,
Yeah.
Philly's your place.
They have
like
like a
that.
gigantic colon.
Yeah.
I mean,
As a
literally,
matter of
like,
fact-
like I mean, the
Okay, wow.
weird. They have the skeleton of what was the one time the tallest man in the world? Yes, right.
Yeah, I was at the Casey Musgraves concert last night at
Oh,
the Wells
wow. Yeah,
at
I
the
saw
Wells
she was
Fargo
on.
Center, and she has been in town for the last couple of days. She went to the Muter Museum.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
Mm.
If
Yeah.
it's good enough for Casey, it's good
Good
enough
enough
for
for
us.
us, yeah.
you know?
We were reading all about her in Nashville at that Country Music Museum, weren't we?
Yeah, we did.
So I say we don't like museums, we actually do.
Yeah, it depends. Just not modern art. I don't
I
like modern art
know.
museums.
All right, we will.
We'll steer you that way. Well, I see that our callers are getting on the line, and I think I want to take this out for a spin because one of the things that always surprises us here is when we'll be watching a show, a movie, something like that, and you get to know a character. Kath, we're going to do the junk drawer, which is something we normally do a little bit later in the program. We're
It's
gonna
the
do-
junk drawer. Preston's cleaning out his junk drawer. Getting things out of his junk drawer. Finding stuff here in the junk drawer.
Thank you, Kyle. My favorite jingle.
May I throw something into the junk drawer initially?
Well, that's what we're going to start with.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to play this audio
Awesome,
clip
yes.
that you sent over. So Lizzo, the singer, has put together this piece of music, Steve, and you can explain where this came
So
from.
she's at Hobbitown in New Zealand, which is the site where they shot The Hobbit Village. And, she plays this music, and you'll instantly recognize it. She's super talented, and it's just a little small piece of music, but I thought, I love this.
Was she, is she doing her concert tour there or something?
I don't know what she said. I assume she is on concert, but she's standing in the opening of the doorway to one of the actual Hobbitown homes that they used for the movie, and you'll recognize this.
All right, here we go. Is that her singing?
And that's her playing the flute.
Oh.
I love it.
So she's playing a recorder. She's pretty damn good on that thing.
She's well versed in a number of different
That's how she got her
instruments.
start.
Yeah.
She's a flautist.
Get out of here.
You didn't
know? Yeah.
I know nothing about Lizzo other than she's got a great voice, really fun songs.
Yeah, she was like in a high school band, and she was a really good flautist.
Yeah, she
growing up.
plays sometimes.
She plays
on
almost
stage.
every show, yeah.
In fact, she played, it was a historic, what was the flute, Nick, they gave it to her?
It was like a John Adams flute.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
She's super accomplished, reads, writes music, all that stuff.
But I've never heard
hold on. Does she play the flute or the recorder or both?
Both.
Okay.
And it was James Madison's flute that was literally James Madison's when he was president, and she played it at the Library of Congress.
I had no idea that a recorder. I didn't know she could play the recorder, but I didn't know it could sound so pretty.
Yeah, you know, because listen, we all played recorders in school. It's
I sucked,
and when especially when you try to hit the lower notes. It's like you have to barely breathe into that thing,
Yeah.
or it starts. You know, you get these harmonics and stuff that are really weird. So that's cool.
It's
Nice.
such a wonderful, iconic piece of music. We use it all the time.
That we do.
Yep.
Yes,
All right.
we do, Preston.
Are you a fan of Lizzo?
I love Lizzo.
Oh.
People don't realize she's multi-versed in all sorts of instruments and forms of entertainment.
Baby, how you doing?
And baby got back.
Had no idea. Gandalf the Grey.
Yeah.
A fan of Lizzo.
Big fan.
Wow. All right. Let me go into the junk drawer here and see what I can find. There's some local stories interspersed in here as well. But
Wait a second.
No, it's not City Beat.
All right. I don't like these blurring of the lines here.
We did that yesterday, but we'll start with one that is not local. And this is interesting. So you spend a lot of money for your kids to go to college, obviously. But if you think the tuition is all they're spending money on, some parents are shelling out up to $4,000 just to get their daughters into their dream sororities.
Oh my God! Like the parents were in the sorority.
There are sorority consultants.
Are you kidding me?
Who offer admissions advice and coaching services to aspiring members.
This has got to be for those giant schools.
The consultants
That's for community colleges.
coach aspiring sorority members on what to wear, how to behave, and how to manage their social media presence.
Oh, see, I was thinking it was more the parents were trying to get their kids into the sorority that the parents were in when they went to college.
No.
Maybe.
It could be.
Part of that.
Why don't they just pretend they're on the rowing team, Preston? That's the
do that.
That's
Yeah.
how you do it.
But do parents have any influence if they were in a
Legacy?
sorority?
Like a legacy?
Like a legacy.
Yeah. Not really.
You
I mean-
gotta let him in. He's legacy.
Not really, but I mean, they might look at that for you. Like it just depends on the people who are making the decision and whether or not they care about that.
So Stacy Dameron, the founder of the
Everybody thought the stork was brain damaged.
Stacia Dameron, the founder of the sorority consulting company called Hiking in Heels, said that the sorority admissions are just as competitive as those for top colleges. She said, my boyfriend went to Stanford, and he said this is more complicated than getting a Stanford MBA.
So I've heard it said that it is those frat and sorority relationships that you forge in those years that can benefit you career-wise throughout the rest of your life. I don't know of any personal experience or anybody that I know has had that, but I've heard it said. And when they review college,
Well, because there's a connection. If you
Right.
meet somebody, like when my aunt and I found out we were in the same sorority, not
Right.
job wise, but we were like, oh my God. We did the secret handshake. My family was laughing at us, and it doesn't mean anything. It was just like funny to find out that we thought it was fun.
No, but you will, I think, offer up some type of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like preferential
Poontang?
treatment.
Or some poontang. No, a preferential treatment. It's some accommodations.
Yes.
That's the word I'm looking for someone who is a fellow brother or
Yeah,
sister of
yeah.
a sorority or fraternity.
you're in this club, right?
Kathy, what sorority were you in?
I was Zeta Tau Alpha.
And were there any famous Zeta Tau Alphas in the world that you learned
know
about?
what? Yeah, I think there was, and I want to say it was like
Casey Anthony?
no.
Well, while you're thinking, I was in Kappa Sigma when I was in college, and Jimmy Buffett was a Kappa Sig.
Oh, wow.
Bob Dole was a Kappa Sig, and so it's a national
Dole likes to
fraternity.
party.
Yeah, Bob Dole likes to drink. Bob Dole likes keg stands. But it is a connection that you make for me, Steve. It had absolutely zero to do with my career, but I will be lifelong friends with those guys. So for me, that's an important part of my social life.
But that is an aspect of this, right? Where people look to get into specific sorority, right?
For business reasons?
For business purposes.
I didn't.
Okay.
No.
But Kappa Sig at Bucknell, it would be more. There would be more of a connection if somebody said I was, Bucknell Kappa Sig as opposed to Kappa Sig in, some other state.
But
right?
I drove across the country in one summer, and I didn't stop at Hobbitown because that's you can't drive there. But I stayed in Kappa Sigs across the country because they were fraternity brothers, and you go up and you do the silly little secret handshake, and
that's part of it, right? They're beholding to give you accommodation if you need it.
I took my son down to UVA to visit a couple of weeks ago, and my fraternity was founded at the University of Virginia, and there's a plaque there that says Kappa Sigma was founded here in whatever year, 1846 or whatever. And so that look, the further you get away from college, the less any of that stuff matters at all. But it is something that threads through your life.
I also don't think that there are very many college kids who are joining a fraternity or sorority thinking of business later in life.
Right.
You're picking the people that you became friends with and who look the most fun, and you're joining a club to hang out.
So at the parents' direction, but if your parents tried to direct you towards a sorority,
I would have went to the other sorority.
I think that fraternities and sororities in northern schools are different. Like if you go to University of Alabama or whatever, and like that, those are legacies, and Tennessee and whatever. Like those things. If the mom was a Tri-Delt, then the daughter was going to be a Tri-Delt.
The debutantes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the people are spending a large sum of money for consultants on how to, get into the organization you want to be in.
Was that there was for a while? It was all over social media. I guess a lot of footage had leaked of these videos that I guess they were pledging or whatever, where they do the "Hi, I'm Tammy," but whatever.
They're trying to get their bids for
exactly, and that I'm unfamiliar with that process at all. I went to a commuter school. There was no frats or sororities or anything.
I mean, I went to Ursinus, a very small school, and we did at that point have a Greek life. They're really doing away with it there, but my Greek experience I think is way different than most. Like we didn't have your classic fraternity houses and sorority houses the way that Nick did at Bucknell. But my nephew is he's in a fraternity at the University of Alabama.
Is that a huge deal for him?
Yeah,
and I would think so in a southern school.
Yeah. I mean, and dude, but their dues are insanely expensive.
We need dues.
I don't thousands of dollars. I think we pay $75, and that paid for your natural light for the semester.
And you got a car.
Case, I was driving by Ursinus day before yesterday, and I haven't driven by there in a while. And some of those buildings, the across the street from the
that's where I lived. Yeah.
Okay, so those look like fraternity houses.
Yeah, but so they are not classic fraternity houses in the sense that this is the Sig Row house and it always has been and always will be. Like our house, I think maybe the lacrosse team lives there now or whatever. They're owned by the school, so the fraternity doesn't own them. You have to,
You guys,
them and
you used to sleep in the gym, right? And then
that's when the Alpha Betas burned their house down.
But and I think Nick, you had the same situation at your school. They have a house mom who cooks them breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wait, you had a house? Yours had a house mom?
No, we had a cook, and his name was George Kitchens. And also, he was somehow tied to the Central PA Mafia, but that's another story for another time.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you want for breakfast?
Well, Steve, I'll tell you a quick story.
Why don't you go buy that?
So, we would have to pay dues every month, or every semester as well. And George would take all of the money at the beginning of the semester.
Oh, boy.
And often take it to the track. So there were weeks where we ate really well.
Right.
And then there were other weeks where, what are we having for dinner tonight, George? Side dishes. And we're like,
hey, Nicky, that's caviar there.
We would get,
I got the trifecta.
We get steaks on the nights where he did well on the track.
God.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, George was a character.
That's great.
Yeah, he passed away a few years ago, but he's one of those dudes who was just on campus forever and ever.
We didn't have any of that. No.
Did you have a house?
Yes, but they weren't sanctioned by the school. Do you know what I mean? So yes, there was always every fraternity, every sorority had a house, but the school didn't have anything to do with it. And if they happened to move out of that house and not rent it anymore, then the Zeta house just became the one down the street.
Kathy, Ursinus just put up, and I think they probably sold already, but they put up two of what we call fraternity houses. They put them up for sale.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're on campus, but really kind of off campus, or like a half a block away from where the campus ends.
Is that sort of bittersweet for you as a graduate?
Yeah, dude. I had like one of my favorite memories happened in so it was 942 and 944, and not to go, but like one of my favorite memories of my 4 years of college happened on the garage roof of 944.
Was it a hand job?
It was not. Okay. Well, I mean, hands and balls were involved.
Okay.
There's a water tower that is that's behind the house.
Yeah.
And it was probably like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. We're out we're not supposed to be on the roof, but we're on the roof hanging out we're smoking pot, okay?
Okay. He just interrogated himself. It's the easiest interrogation a cop has ever had.
He broke him down.
Yeah.
He broke himself down.
I am a criminal.
But there was an ongoing debate on whether or not if that water tower...
I had tons of kiddie porn.
No!
No.
No! I don't know why I said that. I don't.
The ongoing debate was
I have a
whether or not-
bomb. I don't. Why did I say that?
I put it to you, Casey.
Was whether or not the water tower, if it fell over, if it would hit the house.
Okay.
And so we were debating. Master debaters here. And then finally my buddy Brian was like, dude, I could hit that thing with a baseball. It would definitely... And we're like, you couldn't hit that with a baseball. He goes into the house, grabs a baseball, warms his arm up, and then heaves this thing into the night sky. I'm telling you, it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, right?
All
and
right.
we just hear like, woo, and then just silence, right? Silence for like a good, what seemed like 10 seconds, and then all you hear is, boing, 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 and we went crazy. Dude, like, I can't believe he hit it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like it was a giant, like, it was a water tower on stilts. We couldn't believe it. And I still tell that story to this day. Brian, I hope you're listening.
That's a great story. I love stuff like that.
But they were selling that house. And I'm like,
So when did they discover your illegal porn? Oh, no. Is that...
All right, well, anyhow, people are hiring consultants to get into the sororities that they want, and spending up to $4,000 for that. That's crazy.
Preston, I remember having our minds blown at the notion of people, the people who had planned Sweet 16 parties, and that industry sprouted up. So I'm sure this is only going to increase.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're going through this right now, and because my daughter is going into the arts. So in addition to the application process, there is also an audition process that we have to navigate as well. So, I mean, we are
part of it. A consultant.
We're hiring consultants.
Yeah, well, why not? Why not? Yeah.
Okay. I was going to move on from this, but there's one call I want to go to. It's Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, bitches.
What's up, bitch?
I love that.
Hi, Kathy. I'm a fellow Zeta.
Oh, okay.
I went to the University of Central Florida.
Oh, all right.
And I wanted to let you know that Aaron Andrews is a Zeta.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
I think I did know
and
that.
Dancing with the Stars?
Yes.
Yes.
So is she...
No, she's the sports consultant.
Right, but she was also a co-host on
contestant, yeah.
and she also was one of the hosts.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, there you go. Famous sister.
That's it.
Zlam, Melissa.
I'm sorry? Lamb. Oh, Z-Lamb. Yes.
What is that?
Is
that how you order lamb?
No, it's just
I'll have some lamb and some slake.
Oh, it's lamb chop.
Wait, and in my sorority, you had to whisper. You had to whisper when you did the handshake to the sisters.
What was the whisper? Can you say it?
No,
you can't portray it?
No, I can't. I can never tell. But of course, my one of my best friends was the person that you're supposed to whisper to, and so we were not whispering what we were supposed to be whispering every time we would come in. It would be something new,
vile, and
what you had to whisper. I'm on my period. No, what you had to whisper sounded like. So what we would often say is Armani wristwatch.
It's so ridiculous how important that stuff is to you when you're in between 18 and 22, and like there are all of these secrets in every fraternity and sorority. I wonder how much of that stuff you can just Google now and be like, what the hell?
I will guarantee you.
It's all available.
That's why we've joked for years about the James Bond concept that there's thousands and thousands of workers working inside a hollowed out volcano, and nobody at the Wawa goes, guess where I work?
Yeah.
All right, so interesting stuff. Let's go back into the junk drawer. And I told you, I think I had some local stories. Here we go. I got one.
Pull it out.
Sister Mary Scullion, who we have spoken to many times over the years, is leaving her job as the president and executive director of the nationally renowned Project Home. Also, Joan Dawson McCannon, who co-founded it with her, is also going to be stepping down.
Yeah.
So the two people that made this thing what it is are leaving.
Just a legend.
Scully will remain in her role through December 31st. And she said, we've done the best we can, and it's time for someone else to come in. She's 70 years old now.
They're both going to go work for Arnold's.
She said, the work has been such a blessing. McConnon said, we've had a unique relationship, but we both realize that it is really time to move aside. So in the 34 years that they grew Project Home from a winter shelter in South Philadelphia where volunteers wash dishes and a washing machine they wash dishes in a washing machine, they turned it into a formidable institution with 1,000 units of housing in 19 residences across the city.
And think about the national attention that it garnered. It's amazing.
They have a $52 million operating budget.
Yeah.
1 million square feet of real estate, dozens of programs, and a staff of 450 that's helped countless people in need to find homes, improve their health, become educated, and get jobs. And yes, Steve, speaking of the national, the whole national thing, Sister Mary, was named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in 2009. Wow. She won the University of Notre Dame's Lateer Medal. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's in Latin, but it's American Catholicism's highest honor. She is huddled with former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, former First Lady Michelle Obama, and Pope Francis. She's been a guest of U.S. Representative Dwight Evans at the 2020 State of the Union address, and met with late former Secretary of State Colin Powell and Prince Charles. Her successful partnership with John Bon Jovi is as celebrated as pairing as it is unlikely. And also, I remember when U2 was in town for the Joshua Tree re-performance of that, Bono shouted her out on stage.
We were that St. Patrick's Day parade. She was with us
for the Ring of Honor.
Right.
We joined it with her. It's this great honor that we got, and you wear this big sash and everything. And Sister Mary was inducted into the Ring of Honor the same year that we were.
We had to get her to Mount Doom to throw that ring
back in to destroy it. Yes.
She is. So there's different orders of nuns and priests, and she's a Mercy Sister. And
order up.
Order her up. But I love the Mercy Sisters. I sent my daughter to Marian Mercy, and my other one is going to go there this year. But the Mercy Sisters are the best.
Estelle Richmond, the president of Project Home's board of directors, now faces a daunting personnel problem. She said it's the scariest thing. How do you replace an icon like that?
Can I suggest something?
Sure.
Milton Street.
Milton Street. I mean, he ran for mayor, and so he had a little high profile there, but I don't know. They should consider. I mean, don't say no to everything.
Right.
So
he's dead, I think.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Well, that'll make it easier to get him then.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, he's available, but he's not doing a whole lot.
When did he die?
Last year.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
Did not know that.
Totes.
But Sister Mary,
yes,
we wish her well. She's an amazing human being. So, all right, let me see what else I can find in here. I'm going to do another local thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, listen.
Okay.
Dude, no, it's not the city beat.
Turns out that Preston's a liar. All of Harbortown, the one you can never trust is Preston. He'll tell you he's going into the junk drawer and immediately veer onto the city beat.
No, listen, I think this is this sounds fun. So the Bucks County,
never trust him.
The Bucks County Playhouse, which,
I love it.
Which we love.
I was just there.
They're great. Were you just there?
Yeah, I saw the Ray Didinger show.
And you said it was great.
It was great.
Excellent. So they are doing what is called, so they have the Bridges of Madison County. So they're doing the show, and they are doing an event. It's called the Bridges of Bucks County Package, and it combines the 5 covered bridge joyride with tickets to the Playhouse's production of the Bridges of Madison County, as well as a culinary experience at the Playhouse Deck Restaurant. So starting at Bucks County Playhouse, expert guides will pick up guests in one of the company's custom Jeeps for a tour through the county's winding roads and picturesque landscapes. And a maximum of 4 guests per Jeep will visit 5 charming, historically significant covered bridges in the county, including the Lou, Cabin Run, and Lou is spelled L-O-U-X.
Okay.
I assume that's how you pronounce it. Cabin Run and Irwina Bridges.
Irwina.
Rowena.
Irwina? Okay,
Yeah.
Irwina.
I see a covered bridge whenever I hike the Wissahickon Trail. I cross all the time. It's a beautiful bridge. There's something
They never get old,
enchanting
right?
about them.
I agree. There's one at Valley Forge.
Yes.
That I love to. If we ever happen to be in the park, I'm like, we got to go drive through.
They're
that,
great.
You know, and so apparently there's several of them in Bucks County. Kathy, are you familiar with any of these? Yeah. Okay.
That's where you go fishing.
Upon returning to the Playhouse, participants receive a $50 dining credit at the Playhouse Deck restaurant, as well as tickets to see the new production of the romantic Tony-winning musical, The Bridges of Madison County.
That was originally not a musical. It was a novel that became a movie with Meryl Streep and Clint Eastwood, and now it's a musical. How about that?
Is it any good? I'm sorry.
No,
I liked
no.
it.
No, I want to hear what you have to say.
No, I was just going to say about the covered bridges. They were often the subject of our photos for photography class in high school.
Of course.
So we would drive out to
yeah.
like New Hope or somewhere.
Well, that's
and
it.
take
Clint
photos.
Eastwood is a photographer in the movie. Yeah.
And what is it about?
It's about missed
a love story?
opportunities. With, Yeah. So
Well, they have an affair. He is a traveling photographer, and she's got a family that they're gone for a week or whatever. And he comes in and they have a
rocks her world.
But the whole the title, The Bridges of Madison County, is he literally going around taking photos of the bridges in this county? Because
That's
are
what
they
he do.
Are they beautiful bridges? I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is Madison County?
No idea.
We don't know what state.
I'm going to
that's
say
in?
Wisconsin.
Okay, Madison County, Wisconsin, because there's a Madison, Wisconsin.
That's
of course.
the only reason.
Yeah, don't know. Never seen it. Have no idea.
Don't
But
care.
I thought this was kind of fun.
That is kind of
You do
fun.
the driving thing, you have dinner, and then you go to the show. That's cool. It's a neat little package, I thought. Nick is going to look up the bridges of Madison County.
Is it Iowa?
Oh, can't be Iowa.
No?
It sucks.
Yeah, it is.
That was boring. What?
Madison County, Iowa, yeah.
Wow.
Good job, Kathy.
1960s.
These are some of the worst bridges I've ever seen in my life. Why am I wasting film on this?
Clint.
Freaking Iowa.
He would hate it, right?
Nothing.
Start shooting people.
I'm going to Bucks County. I know you're wondering whether I shot 5 or 6 bridges.
All right. Let me see what else we got in for you. All right. This is kind of interesting. MasterCard is banning cannabis purchases on debit cards because the substance is still illegal at the federal level.
Debit? So it's a credit card. When you're talking about a debit card and credit card are different things, though, correct?
It's your money.
Right.
Well,
a credit card is...
Yeah, so I believe...
So when they're saying that a MasterCard and they're specifically saying a debit card, do they mean a credit card?
No, because I know that here in Pennsylvania, at least at the dispensary that I go to, you cannot use a credit card to purchase
Okay. They want
the products, but you can use a debit card.
All right.
Because they want the cash immediately.
Exactly. Well, and also I think it's the federal issue because federally it's illegal.
Yeah, but you're saying federally they can't use the debit card.
That's what. Yes, this is the new ruling with MasterCard.
So now
They're
you're not going to be able
stepping
to use credit card or debit card at these?
You can't use the MasterCard debit card.
Got it.
But you can
still use cash.
Other debit cards, and you can use cash
Okay.
as well.
I think
so the way they would get around that too is initially now before you couldn't use a debit or credit card, but they did have an ATM machine there, so you could pull cash and then go over and hand it
So
over.
the credit card situation could be that the credit card company might be in another state, right?
Yeah, usually.
So all right.
So pot is legal for medicinal use in 38 states, legal for recreational use in 23. Without the ability to take debit card purchases, it might mean dispensaries have to carry large amounts of cash instead, or they put in an ATM machine like the place that I would go to does. This could make dispensaries a more attractive target for robberies, they say.
Yeah, okay,
Well, they do have guards. Like I feel like I see.
Do
them.
they?
Yeah, they do.
There's one like.
Are they super chill guards?
No, well, this dude that I see, he stands outside the one in Springfield on Baltimore Pike. He's got a gun.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. They have a big dude where I go. The Safe Banking Act, which would protect banks servicing cannabis businesses, is currently being debated in Congress. So if you have used a MasterCard debit card in the past for purchase of marijuana, they are not going to allow
Do you
that.
know, I go to the heroin hut and they still take my Blockbuster card.
What?
Your
Yeah,
Blockbuster card.
It's just crazy. I'm thinking that place is illegal.
That's very convenient. All right, let's go to something else. All right, here's something. This came out a couple days ago, but I do want to mention this. A former Air Force intelligence officer told a House committee that the U.S. government has been secretly retrieving and investigating unidentified flying objects for decades. And the Pentagon has denied the claims made by retired Major David Grush. Grush told the House Oversight Subcommittee that he was the head of a government task force that was assigned to identify various highly classified programs relating to unidentified aerial phenomena. He said that he was informed of, quote, a multi-decade UAP crash. UAP is unidentified aerial phenomena. That's another way of saying UFO. But a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, he said, to which I was denied access. It was not clear whether the mysterious objects were extraterrestrial or merely foreign in origin. And he said that he had interviewed officials who said that they had direct knowledge of aircraft with, quote, non-human origins.
Biologics. Yeah, I watched this whole thing. It's pretty wild.
Now, what it comes down to is, do you believe this guy or not?
That's it.
You know,
so he's under oath.
Because he's also,
he's
also telling secondhand information. I heard from this other guy.
Exactly.
You know, so which maybe he did, and whether or not that's true is what's up for grabs.
But think of where we are now with, for example, it took all that time for that footage that we've all seen now of that those ships, airships, or whatever they are, flying at astonishing rates of speed, accelerating, decelerating. There's one where you actually see it go into the water, fly back out of the water. Yeah. It's pretty wild.
We've seen a ton of movies that portray this stuff, but I wonder how this world would really react if, there was indisputable evidence.
Well, it was wild because during the process you had, both sides of the aisle there talking, asking questions. No one was going, yeah, right. So it was an interesting atmosphere to see all this play out in, and they weren't immediately dismissive. They're like, okay, well, we need to explore this further.
I think you should check into it.
I think Contact did the best job at what might happen. And
have you seen Mac and Me?
The world might react.
I think Nick, you'll agree that there's a scene there. It's so beautiful where they have this interaction at a McDonald's. And it's amazing. The biologic in that case, it's very funny, Preston. He reaches across the table, his arms telescope, and he's able to take a big cup of soda away from a kid across the table. And that was to me, it's inspiring.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's I can't write that off because I haven't seen it yet.
There's a wheelchair scene, Preston, that is particularly impactful. Okay. It's a lot like Matthew McConaughey testifying before Congress in Contact.
Okay.
It carries the same weight.
Yeah.
I was thinking about
Mitch McConnell. If I understand correctly, you're on a child was an invalid in a wheelchair, and then this biologic from another planet rescues him.
Here it is up on the big screen, Preston. You can see how this would weigh on you for many years after.
Maybe I need to rethink my whole deductions about UFOs after seeing Mac and Me.
Mac and Me.
I was super stoned this weekend and watch it.
I was thinking about reading the book. No, Contact. Carl Sagan wrote it.
Oh, you
The
did?
book Mac and Me is, I have a leather bound. It's signed by the author.
That was written by F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. He's very reclusive. He didn't want to.
Its original title was The Last Tycoon.
Okay. Who do we talk to about Mac and Me here in the studio?
Stuart Raffle, the director.
The director.
Yeah.
He was here with James Brolin.
James Brolin was here.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It was all we could do to keep from just mega fanboying out on this because it's one of the great garbage movies of all time.
Well, anybody can let me know if the book Contact is worth picking up. It's Carl Sagan, after all, and Mac and Me. I want to do one more, Casey, if that's okay. A quickie. Because this is interesting. Some men are using a type of dissolvable gel similar to lip filler to enhance their manhood.
So it plumps it up a bit?
Yep. The procedure takes about 30 minutes.
Can you use Tabasco sauce?
And the filler is injected under the member's top layer of skin. An extra 0.5 to 1.5 inches is recommended to maintain a more natural look.
So this is providing girth?
It has to, right? I can't see it causing
extending.
length.
Yeah.
The effects can last months or even years before dissolving.
So I'd referenced Mac and Me, and in that movie, his arms extend in a way, and they get larger. I wonder if it's the same technology.
Apparently, the procedure can help satisfy in the bedroom and give men a confidence boost.
Would you honestly? You start screwing around down there with injections and plumper and all that stuff, and oh my God.
Yeah, I don't.
Too risky.
Now, the thing is the William Moore of a clinic called Fallow Phil.
Hey, that's Fallow Phil.
He said, we've had people tell us that they've gotten job promotions.
With their penis?
Somebody told me he opened a new company and told me he did it with a big D attitude.
No.
Okay.
Listen, I know I'm not getting that promotion, but what if I had impressive girth?
Fallow Phil, as in phallic.
Yeah.
Phil.
To me, this is, you know, that guy Preston who had and you had the stories in the bizarre file was using that oil that these faux bodybuilders use to create huge, fake muscles.
Right.
He was doing that in his junk.
Oh my God.
And eventually, basically he had to be castrated.
Well, this appears to be,
edible,
clinical in nature. This is not, you're not going to a back room guy to do this. Are these the pictures of the actual needles that are used in this procedure?
Oh, hell
Holy
hell
God.
I want to see it before and after.
No, that looks like a game of lawn darts.
Yeah.
Seriously. No, but I want to see it before and after. I want to see what this looks like.
Okay. All right.
Go to Pornhub.com.
Yeah,
check out Fallow Phil, and maybe you can find out. All right.
Is that the deal of the week?
It's it's MMR's Big Friggin' Deal. No, actually, MMR's Big Friggin' Deal is Arnold's Family Fun Center.
Yay!
A $100 gift card to Arnold's Family Fun Center for just $50. And you can go to WMMR.com and use the keyword deal, and you can get it.
Take that over Fallow Phil anytime.
I agree. All right, junk drawer. We're wrapping it up. We're closing it up. Yeah.
That was the junk drawer.
Yep.
Preston's closing up his junk drawer. There's nothing left here in the junk drawer. Until next time, that was the junk drawer.
That's it, Fred. Yeah. All right. I forgot we had an outro for that.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I'd like to do. I would like to give away from our friends at Jersey Mike's a $25 gift card.
Love those guys.
Yeah. And I would like to thank Guzman for coming by this morning from the Feasterville store. Hey. He brought us tons and tons of freshly made sandwiches, and you can order. We'll take, by the way, caller number 15 at 215-263-WMMR. And you can order Jersey Mike's subs on the mobile app and get delivery right to your home or pick them up at your nearest Jersey Mike's location, like our friends that dropped off food this morning from Feasterville. So come and get it. We're going to take a break. B-File is coming up when we return.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Brit, and they have mastered the accent. And in fact, Kate Winslet, a show called Mayor of Easttown, which took place in this area, had to master not only just the American accent, but specifically, she took it from where Casey is from, Delaware County. We call it Delco.
Yeah.
So it's got a very specific accent, and she said it was the most difficult accent she ever tried to master. And she nailed it. She nailed it spot on.
I mean, she's winning awards right and left for it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
So we wanted to do a game with you guys called Brit or Not a Brit.
Ooh, gosh, okay.
We have a series of callers
Okay.
that are going to speak. We've given them something to say.
Oh, gosh.
Some of them are British and some of them are American, but they're all going to be attempting a British accent.
Okay.
Or just
you
talking.
have to determine whether they are legitimately British or not.
100% Joel's going to be really good at this.
Oh, yeah? I'll
think,
try.
yeah.
I did a degree in linguistics. So
Well, there you go. That's
I love
good.
accents. But I say that, I probably, I'll be terrible.
Okay.
Well, the funny
we'll
thing
find
is
out.
that, as you know, because as you know, you're obviously spent a lot of time in the States. Obviously, there are different dialects throughout the United States. For England, for the size that it is, there are a tremendous amount of different dialects.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular accent? If someone would somebody be able to pick out what region you're from?
I think they would say generic sort of south of the UK accent for both of us. Leah's got a
probably
slight
Midlands
twang.
Yeah, I'd say I'm Midlands RP.
Yeah, so you're sort of in the middle of the
Yeah.
UK. So yeah, people could place us, but not so specifically. I think.
It's so funny when some of our American viewers are like, Leah, you sound like Adele. I'm like, I
Like
really
Adele.
don't.
Really? She's from a completely different area.
But she's a bit sharper, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite or least favorite British accent?
Oh, I love Welsh. Oh, I love a bit of Welsh. I do. And I heard that Philadelphia's got a Welsh bit of history here.
Well, in fact,
Sure.
yes, where you're at, Balakinwood it's a Welsh name.
Yeah.
It's spelled Balacynyd. That's how you spell Balakinwood. So that's clearly a Welsh derivation. So.
When you mock, when you are trying to make like a classic stereotypical goofy British accent, which do you target for it? What region do you target?
You'd probably end up being Birmingham, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you like Birmingham.
Yeah.
And Birmingham has been voted as like the ugliest UK accent for years and years, which is so sad because it's a quirky accent.
Yeah, it's nice.
But no, I
I
think
love
we
them
just go
all.
for a posh, like us, but times 10.
Of course, I'm always doing when we do the royal family.
That's how he speaks.
Yes.
Pretty good, Steve.
Right, but I mean, so and everything that I do is a very over exaggerated thing because that's how it resonates with people. But I love the subtleties, so we'll see how you guys do with it.
You kind of do a little Cockney thing sometimes.
Yeah,
too, yeah. It goes.
It's funny though. What is amazing? We learned about Cockney, and I was just watching To Sir with Love again when Sidney Poitier passed away. That Cockney speak, that jumbled
That
word.
rhyming?
Yeah.
Can you follow it, or do you need to be from the neighborhood to know what some of that stuff is?
It's almost like speaking in metaphors.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Things would ping out, wouldn't they? Like apple and stairs, we know apple and pears mean stairs, things like that. But we can, if someone was actually speaking it, which I don't think I've ever met anyone.
It's kind
who
of dying out now. Like parents' generations that are from that area, then it kind of has now dissolved.
I assume when you speak that way and you're calling for an ambulance and they can't figure out where you are, that's why you're dying out.
That's it.
You can't get medical assistance.
All right, so we are going to play Brit or Not a Brit. All right, and we've got callers on the line, and here's the story. We have given them...
We had to play that.
Yeah. We've given them lines from movies that are based in Philadelphia to say to you. So if whatever they're saying makes no sense to you at all, don't worry about it. It's from a Philly movie.
Preston, by happenstance, I watched both Rocky and the second half of Philadelphia last night.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, I'm all prepped.
You're up to speed on this. All right, so let's get our first caller on the line. Is this the order that we're going in? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to Jen. Jen, good morning.
Morning to you.
All right, Jen, you are going to read a movie line for Joel and Leah, and let's see if we can figure out if you're a Brit or not a Brit. So go ahead, please.
You know what crazy is? Crazy is majority rules. Take germs, for example. In the 18th century, no such thing. Nada. Nothing. No one ever imagined such a thing. No sane person, anyway. Hey, look at this doctor.
Can't give a straight face.
No, she was good.
Okay, all right. Let's find.
Quite good.
Let's find out officially.
So
Leah,
tragic.
Leah, what do you think, Brit or not a Brit?
I think not a Brit.
All right, and Joel, Brit or not a Brit?
Not a Brit.
All right, Jen, what are you? Where are you
not
from,
a
Jen? Where are you from, Jen?
I am from Newark, Delaware.
Newark, Delaware. Not a Brit. All right, so somebody keep score, by the way. All right,
They
I got
knew
it.
immediately. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a bit over the top.
Wasn't bad though.
No, it was decent. She was just it was just a bit augmented.
Right. It's like the way I do it.
What movie was that, by the way?
Yeah, what
Do we
movie?
even know?
Do you know what movie those lines were from, Jen? Because I couldn't pick up
Yeah,
on it.
that was from 12 Monkeys.
Monkeys.
That was pretty hard, actually.
Yes. All
No,
right.
you did a good job.
All right. Is Jen are we giving prizes away? Or
Only
what are
if
we
they
doing?
stump them.
Only if they stump
Yeah,
them. Okay.
That's the way we do it here in the States.
Yeah.
You
Sorry,
gotta
Jen.
You got to really do it.
Thanks for playing, though. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right. These guys are they're good on one. All right. Let's get our next caller on the line.
It's quite a fun game.
And we're going to go to Duke. Good morning, Duke.
Hi.
All right, Duke, could you please give us the line that you're going to be reading for Joel and Leah?
Okay.
Be nice if you had it ready to go.
Give him a minute.
He's doing
Look, it's a name, man. The Italian stallion. The media will eat it up. Now, who discovered America? It's an Italian, right? What would be better than to get it on with one of its descendants?
The actor prepares.
Duke, I want to thank you for rehearsing that all night last night.
I watched that scene live last night.
So wonderfully. Okay, so what do you think? Let's go, Joel. Brit or not a Brit?
I think he's a Brit. I think Duke isn't even his name because that's a very American name.
Okay.
I think he's a Brit. That's very good.
And Leah, what do you think?
I think not a Brit.
You think not a Brit? Duke, where are you from?
I'm from Manchester.
Joel got it right.
All right, so apparently Duke owns a barbershop called Blokes in Old City.
No kidding.
Very nice, Duke.
How long have you been in the States, Duke?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. Wow. Originally from Manchester. Were you a barber there as well, or is this a whole new life?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Nice.
I was a barber and a musician.
All right, and reading the info that you sent us, what other countries do you get mistaken that you are from?
Oh, okay. Irish, Australian, Kiwi, South African, all sorts.
All of them, yeah, I believe it. And that's a common refrain, by the way. People are like, "Are you South African?"
Oh my God! To me, Australian and Kiwi, so different, and I don't know.
Oh, you use bloke. You use the word bloke. You must be from Australia.
All right, well, Duke, you did manage to stump Leah, so I think that's good for a prize.
Yeah, we'll hook you up with something.
All right, hang on a second, Duke. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Marissa, do I need to keep him on hold, or will we contact him?
We'll contact him.
We'll contact him. All right,
it was funny because my friend is Helen.
Duke
She's
go.
from Manchester,
Yeah.
and when he was saying a couple of things, I was like, "Oh my God, that's!" And I was with her last night. I was like, "That's exactly how she sounds." So maybe I can pick out a Manchester accent.
All right, let's go with another caller. We have Peter on the line. Good morning, Peter.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. All right, so we have Joel and Leah here. We're playing Brit or not a Brit. Could you give us the line, please?
I will do. Commodities are agricultural products like coffee that you had for breakfast, wheat, which is used to make bread, pork bellies, which is used to make bacon, which you might find in a bacon and lettuce and tomato sandwich.
Yeah, definitely a Brit.
Definitely a Brit.
All right, you guys both say Brit?
Brit.
Yeah.
Where? Where's he
Right.
from?
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Peter, well, yeah, if you were to narrow it down and you think it's legit, where would you say Peter's from?
I don't think he's from the South.
Can you say a couple more words, please? Just a few more.
Just say a few more words, Peter, if you would.
Well, what sort of words would you like me to say?
Yeah,
All
you
right.
did it.
Okay.
Philadelphia, London.
Should we go?
I think Midlands,
So
like Leah.
Midlands.
Where are you from, Peter?
Well, that's pretty clever because I was born in a city called Leicester, which is in the Midlands.
Wow.
You got the Midlands. You got the whole thing.
And how long
But
have
I
you
spent most of my life in London.
All right. And how long have you been in the States?
40 years.
40 years.
Wow.
Good for you, man.
You still sound like that?
Yeah, that is not faded whatsoever.
No.
All right. Well, thank you for playing, Peter. Unfortunately, you didn't stump these guys, but we appreciate you calling in and thank you for listening to the show.
It's like
Thank you. It was
All
all
right.
fun.
Take care, Peter.
normally an accent would go away. That's why the hilarity of having Scotty on Star Trek had that complete.
Yeah, I had when I was a kid, I had a very thick Southern accent.
Right.
I lived in the South growing up, and my parents speak with a Southern accent, but I shook it along the line.
By the way, there was Ralph Bellamy as Randolph Duke in Trading Places.
Yes, thank you
That's
very
one of the
much.
lines, yes.
Yeah. All right, let's get another caller. We have William on. Hi, William. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, William, we are playing Brit or not a Brit, and Joel and Leah want to hear your accent, so give us the line, please.
What? Are you kidding? Sundays? I love Sundays. I live for Sundays. The whole family's together. Mum makes brioche. Dad puts the jersey on. We're all watching the game. Yes, it drives me crazy. And yes, I was negative. You didn't even know that I loved it, Nikki, but I did. I just didn't appreciate it or you before.
Okay.
The thing is, he could be a Brit. He could be a performer. He could be performing right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but what do you think if you had to?
My initial instinct was pretend,
I
not
think,
a Brit.
yes, I don't think he's a Brit, but that was a very good attempt.
But when he said brioche, I died.
Yeah.
All right. William, where are you from?
Yeah, that's not even fair. That was spot on.
Oh, he's from Delco.
He's from Delco. All right, William, they found you out, but thanks, man. We appreciate it, buddy. All right, let's
That's
see it.
pretty.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because all you have to do in many cases is convince people here. And so, the hard part, that's why when you do pass muster, when a Kate Winslet pulls off something as mechanically difficult as a sub-accent, sub-dialect here, it's an amazing thing.
So the way he said yo, he said yo. That's how you say it in Delaware County. In Delco. Yo.
But you can so far, you can hear them trying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Brits are just natural. In
That's
speaking.
why, like when Meryl Streep pulled off the Polish accent in Sophie's Choice, you'll have dialogue and dialect coaches on set.
Right.
That's how hard it is.
And by the way, you should visit some of the places that are named for English cities. Like you should definitely go to Chester and Camden and Kensington. No.
You won't make
Those
it
are like
home.
the high crime areas.
That was a movie set in Delco. That was Silver Linings Playbook and Bradley Cooper's character.
Thank you, Nick, for the clarification. All right, we have another caller on the line. It is Susan. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning.
Okay, Susan, we have Joel and Leah here determining Brit or not a Brit. Could you please read what we sent to you?
When you were making me, didn't you feel a certain inspiration? Almost like your hands were moved by force not of this world. You made this body so that I could come to life.
Okay.
The accent was good, but the intonation was all off, wasn't it? What do you think,
Yeah,
Joel?
I don't know. I thought that's really hard to tell because I think it could just be that she's reading a quote that made it sound slightly off.
Do you
but
want her to
still
say
really
brioche?
Just say brioche. No,
All right, Joel, we're going to ask you.
No, you know what? I'm going to take a risk. Say she's a Brit.
She's a Brit.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
and what do
let's
you We play our Friday song here.
Yes.
May I do a shout out and a butt plug?
Sure.
All right, the first is a shart, and I got this from Rob Gill, who is a producer at NFL Films.
Really?
Yeah, and he reached out to us. He says medium amount of time listener, 15 plus years when I can, and he says first time emailer. But he wanted to let me know that there's a senior baseball league, okay, and the Cherry Hill team qualified for the World Series.
Oh, get out.
In Easley, South Carolina.
What are the age parameters?
He didn't indicate in the...
16U, I thought it said.
I'm sorry?
16U. I thought it said.
In the subject, it says 16U.
It's Little League's 15 to 16-year-olds, so that's what it's called, 16U. It's equivalent of the Little League World Series.
I was thinking like 75 years old and above, like senior.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Cherry Hill team won the New Jersey State title in Old Bridge the week before last, and then won the regional in Bangor, Maine.
Wow.
Last week, and they play their first game on Sunday at 1 o'clock against the winner of the game between Weslaco, Texas, I think is how you say that, and Wailuku, Hawaii. And if they win that game, they play again on Tuesday. And if they can find a way to win 4 games before losing 2, they will be world champions.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. Steve, it's instead of saying Little League, it's Senior League. So it's kids that are older than Little League. So it's the Senior League World
It
Series.
makes total sense.
All right.
And so if I'm reading you correctly, they credit us with their success so far?
There you go. That's it. No. He just wanted to send some love out to the team and send a shout out to those guys. So good luck, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Go get the title. It'd be amazing. Bring it back to Cherry Hill. And then this is a butt plug, and this is from Kelly Liberatore.
Hey.
I guess that's how you say it.
That's a fine woman.
Or Liberator. I'm not sure.
Liberator.
Liberator.
This is what you take for your heart.
She wanted me to mention the Philadelphia Zero Prostate Cancer Run Walk. She said, I am a clinical research regulatory specialist at Mid-Atlantic Urology, which is right at the corner on One Presidential Boulevard, right down the street from us.
Far too accomplished to be listening to us.
And longtime listener and Delco born and raised, she said. But she wanted me to mention that they have the walk and run coming up. It is October 1st at Wilson Farm Park in Wayne, Pennsylvania.
That's excellent.
And obviously this is near and dear to you, Steve.
Absolutely.
Prostate cancer survivor. So they want to get everybody on board. And so I just wanted to give that a little plug-a-rooney. Now, what she didn't send me was...
the weight?
Well, they have a website. I'm sorry, actually. Nick, can I hand this to you and we
You
put this
betcha.
on the
You
page?
know what? I have her email as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we'll post that on PresidentSteve.com. A lot of times I don't tell Nick I'm going to mention these things on air.
Just for that in the moment thrill on air.
That's what it's for.
Why do you give me so much work?
It's a thrill. So there's your butt plug. I just want to mention that real quick.
He handles the butt plugs.
Yeah. I do the butt plugs.
Okay, go ahead.
It's right there.
And there it is. All right, now we can ring in Friday.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, let's begin with the game that I love, and that is golf. And we have a story about a trespassing dispute at a Florida golf course community. Landed one homeowner in jail after he sprayed a passing woman in the face with his garden hose.
Wow.
Turns out the man was mistaken about where his property line ended. Deputies
Those
were
last 4 holes are on my property.
Don't you love it when someone, they get off my property. I'm not on your property.
3 feet back is government property.
Deputies were summoned to a home in Plantation Bay Golf and Country Club.
Get off my golf course.
When the suspect's wife called 911 to complain that the victim...
I own Disney World.
Listen to this. The suspect's wife called 911 to complain that the victim displayed a gun.
Oh.
So after investigating the incident, deputies determined that the homeowner had been the one to escalate the incident by spraying the victim in the face with a garden hose after yelling at her for allegedly being on his property line.
So he started with the hose and escalated to the gun.
No, she got the gun.
Oh.
And gun beats hose in this scenario. So
that's the moron way.
The victim said that while she was retreating to her vehicle, the man followed her while yelling at her, which put her in
Slow
fear.
down, I'm running out of hose.
That she was going to be attacked. So she pulled out her gun for safety. And once he went back inside, the victim put away the firearm and stood by in her vehicle and waited for the deputies. An investigation revealed the woman had not been on the man's property. The homeowner further escalated the dispute when he, quote, followed her to her vehicle in an aggressive manner. The 62-year-old property owner was arrested, and he was charged with simple battery. Mountain rescuers came to the aid of a woman and her pet parrot in the United Kingdom this week after she became stranded trying to find one of her feathered friends who was scared off by a peregrine falcon. The woman was part of a group of parrot owners from Derbyshire.
It has here climbing a mountain.
Who were walking in Wales. However, a peregrine falcon attacked the group, causing one of the parrots to fly off.
Wouldn't it be dark in there?
No, they weren't inside a whale. They were in the country of Wales.
Well, that makes more sense.
You know, where AFC Richmond is, or no, where Wrexham is from.
Yeah.
Richmond.
Well, this is Richmond.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, there we go.
That's fair.
Right.
It's the same thing.
So the owners... The Post said the owner's tracker showed it to be high on the upper cliffs, and she climbed up to retrieve it. Unfortunately, the parrot decided freedom was great and flew back down to the group unassisted, leaving the owner and her second bird now stuck. Rescuers climbed to the base of the cliffs and sent a team member up to make the woman safe.
Stay there for mommy.
On arrival, Jekyll, the second parrot, perched on her owner's rucksack, greeted our team member with a hello, according to the Post. Both parrot and owner were then lowered down the cliffs and guided down the mountain.
I forgot to tell you guys, I saw a peregrine falcon in the Grand Canyon. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So anyhow, they got him out of there.
Wait a
But
second, Casey?
you probably shouldn't go hiking with your parrots.
No, it's stupid.
Yeah. Listen to this. A California family that earned millions of dollars just by recycling cans and bottles is now being accused of multiple felonies that could lead to years behind bars.
What did they do?
In a felony complaint filed this month, state prosecutors charged 8 family members with defrauding the state by importing used bottles and cans from Arizona, some 178 tons over the span of 8 months, and recycling them in California. And you can't do that. It's like Seinfeld.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
You remember?
Yes.
No.
So they buying in bulk, basically, right?
No, they weren't buying these. I mean, they were recycling. These were used.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Yeah, they were making millions of dollars by recycling cans and bottles, but
and then doing it. Okay.
And out of state. So when someone purchases a plastic or aluminum bottle in California, they typically pay an extra 5 to 10 cents in California redemption value, or CRV, which the consumer can get back if they return the items to one of the state's more than 1,200 recycling centers.
You have to do it in state, though.
And Arizona has no such programs. Yes, it says when you read on the can, it says you can't return these in certain states.
Wow. But they were.
In the criminal complaint, prosecutors specifically accused the family members of unlawfully conspiring to commit grand theft and on a chronic and ongoing basis, defrauding the California recycling program by seeking reimbursement for out-of-state containers as well as containers that had already been redeemed within California.
Felony grand theft in California is punishable by up to 3 years in state prison. Redeeming out-of-state containers to the degree the family is accused could also land the accused behind bars for another 3 years.
That's wild.
Court documents did not identify an attorney for the defendants, but last year 6 people were charged in a similar Arizona to California recycling scheme that, according to prosecutors, netted more than $10 million by fraudulently redeeming more than 9 tons of empty beverage containers.
Wow.
Yeah.
$10 million, $10 million, $10 million.
Crazy.
$10 million, $10 million, $10 million.
So they're facing jail time.
But they sound excited.
All right, here's a story out of Pennsylvania. 2 men are facing charges after state police say they found them with random credit cards and filling up a truck's bed with diesel fuel.
Oh, my God.
They were filling up the bed with fuel.
State police were called to the Martin General store. They were informed that 2 men, later identified as Elvis Morfa Garcia.
That's right, man.
And Andreas Cuellar. They were allegedly trying to purchase about $1,500 in diesel fuel.
$1,500 diesel, please.
Upon arrival, troopers said the store manager accused the duo of stealing diesel from other locations and that they were at the East Pleasant Valley Boulevard location the day before doing the same thing. The trooper approached a covered truck at the gas pumps and noted that they could smell the fuel before talking to Cuellar. Cuellar allegedly agreed to let troopers look in the bed of the truck.
So what was they had to have a receptacle in the bed. They weren't just pouring it in the bed of the truck.
I think they lined it.
Okay.
So you could put like a tarp or something in there.
Right.
And
Even then, it's stupid.
Yeah, totally. But it was the bed of the truck was filled with diesel fuel. The duo was allegedly found with multiple credit cards that didn't match any of the receipts the manager printed out. Both Cuellar and Elvis are facing felony charges.
I'm not going to jail, man.
As well as theft on top of that. All right, and there you go. That is what we have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, Jersey Mike's. I got another $25 gift card to give away. We'll take caller number 20 at 215-263. WMMR. Jersey Mike's uses only the highest quality of meat, sliced right in front of you, piled high with the freshest toppings. It's a Jersey Mike thing. You can be a sub above. So let's get that now. You can go to jerseymikes.com. We'll take the 20th caller, and we will set you up with that. We're going to take a break. Be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
I think they really knew.
I think I know. It's just like,
You really knew. But that means Susan is a winner. So, Susan, we're going to get in touch with you and set you up with a prize, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you. This is so fun.
All right,
very
thanks
cool.
for playing along.
Very cool.
All right,
You guys
we
know
have-
what movie that was?
Is that Mannequin?
It is Mannequin. Kim Cattrall and Mannequin. You guys ever see Mannequin? There's Kim Cattrall, the actress from Sex and the City. She's a mannequin in a store in Philadelphia. She comes to life, and
It's a true story.
Yeah, it's a true story. Yes, right. It's a documentary, really.
That's why Kim Cattrall looks so plastic now.
Oh, gosh, you guys.
All right, let's get our next caller. We have Chris. By the way, we have like a dozen of these to do.
Oh, my gosh, that's so fun.
Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
All right, Chris, we are going to get...
See, they already got a taste.
We're gonna need to have you deliver the line. Could you go for it, please?
Now that we know who you are, I know who I am. I'm not a mistake. It all makes sense. In a comic, you know who you can tell who the arch villain's going to be? He's the exact opposite of the hero. Most of the times, they're friends, like you and me. I should have known way back when. You know why, David? Because of the kids. They called me Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass. All right. What do you think? Leah, let's go with you.
I was going to say Brit from maybe like the south, maybe somewhere near Essex.
Okay.
Yeah,
what
I
do
think
you
like
think?
could be a Londoner even.
Be a Londoner.
I think definitely Brit.
Yeah.
Definitely
Then
Brit.
didn't he say glass at the end instead of glass?
Did he?
I was like, wait, what? You've thrown me off the scent.
South and
I heard
northern.
gloss.
Gloss. I heard, yeah,
Gloss.
Gloss.
Oh, gloss. It was the word gloss on the screen.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah,
No,
I'd say-
it was the word
it's
glass,
glass.
but
Oh, right.
to our ears, we heard him say gloss.
Yeah.
Might be,
I
yeah.
think I heard Glass. I think he's definitely a Brit.
I think me too, yeah.
All right, both of them say a Brit. And Chris, where are you from?
I am a Brit from Hatfield, Hertfordshire.
Yeah, North
Did you get it
London.
right?
Yeah, well, no, I was wrong, but yeah, London, kind of Londonish.
And where do you call home now, Chris?
Chester County, down in town.
All right, how long have you been in the States?
18 years.
18 years.
Wow,
And the
nice,
fact that
man.
they still retain a substantial part of that, it's pretty amazing.
Except for when saying glass.
So that's because he's lived here then.
Yeah.
So that bit's come out.
Yeah.
So we had and we had this guy as a guest on the show a couple times. Louis Knight. He was a contestant on American Idol.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who, but he is like the only English person that I have ever heard sing with an English accent.
Oh, it's adorable.
Yeah.
All right,
Can you do
Chris.
an impression of it?
Chris,
Oh,
thanks
it's a
for,
lovely bunch of coconuts.
Chris, thanks for playing, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks.
All right, take care. All right, so you guys are doing pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty
I think
good.
they're
You've
doing
only
damn
missed a
good,
couple
yeah.
of them. All right. Let's get another caller on the line. Oh, what movie was that?
Oh,
from?
Unbreakable.
That was
Samuel L.
Unbreakable.
Jackson.
Yes,
Glass.
thank you. I knew it
Mr.
was-
Glass.
I don't know why I couldn't remember the name of the movie, but it's an M. Night Shyamalan classic. All right. We have Steven. Hi, Steven.
Morning.
Morning. All right, Steven, we have a... They're like immediately making their decisions when people say good morning. All right, Steven, do us a favor and read the line we sent you.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. It'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody's going to hit as hard as life, but it ain't how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you are because of him, her, or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Right. Did it
Yeah,
start
better
off?
than that.
It started off like Scouse, then it went Scottish. It was like Liverpool, Scottish.
Do you know what? His Scottish accent is better than mine.
Yeah.
So if you're to say Brit or not a Brit, what do you think, Joel?
I'll go not a Brit.
Yeah.
Not a Brit.
No,
All right.
sorry.
Steven, where are you from?
I'm from South Jersey.
But I love that. That's a great quote from Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, he was hitting some of them pretty
doing
solid.
well.
Like the word hit, he said het instead with more of an A.
I like
sound.
that he did like a Scottish version rather than going for like our accent.
That was brilliant.
What were you saying, Steven?
I was going for a North England Geordie accent.
Oh, so he knows his stuff. That's actually where Stallone is from.
All right, thanks for playing, Steven. Have a good one, man. All right.
Have a good one.
If you're just tuning in, we have Joel and Leah who are here in the States. They do a YouTube series, and they cover American culture, British culture, kind of compare the two, try some things out over here, sample a little bit.
It's wonderful watching, and they're very much likable. So and people love to see the differences.
Yes. And by the way, I saw BuzzFeed has all these great lists that pop up all the time, and there was one that was showing American sections of grocery stores around the world. And so usually there's a small rack of stuff for maybe who's a tourist or somebody who lives that then go get some of their creature comforts as far as food goes. And you know what I noticed on every single one of those photos? What do you think? What item, if you were to guess?
That is considered expressly American.
Yeah, it was very easy to spot by the packaging. Very bright packaging. It's a candy. I'll give you that.
Circus peanuts?
No.
Candy.
Circus peanuts.
M&M's.
No.
No?
It's a candy.
Yeah.
Skittles.
No. Reese's peanut butter cups.
Ah.
On every single photo that I saw all around the world. I'm like, okay, yeah,
So
sure.
not circus peanuts.
I'd want them.
Yeah, it's funny because my friend Helen hates American candy, and I can't stand British candy. I just and she
I
offered-
like British candy.
Yeah, I can't do it, and they offered because we were all at the same restaurant last Saturday, and she had a big box of British chocolate. I was like, no thanks, that's I'm okay with that. Which is crazy because I love chocolate, but she says that American chocolate tastes like vomit.
Yeah, it really does.
It's been like a test. They've tested it. The compound in American chocolate, I think it's the milk powder that they use, does to British taste like vomit.
Oh, that's why Hershey smells like vomit chocolate. It's
We
vile.
just can't eat
Oh my
it.
gosh.
But
So
it's also why Americans wouldn't like British chocolate.
I do like British chocolate, though. I like
do
dark
too.
chocolate, though.
Okay.
Oh, you're fancy.
There we go.
All right, we have 4 more to go with Brit or not a Brit. So let's get our next caller on the line. It's Carl. Hey there, Carl.
Morning, it.
All right, morning it to you, sir. All right, Carl, we sent you a movie line. Could you please give it for Joel and Leah?
Sure. Oh. See, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put y'all in the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it. I won. Trading Places.
All right, that's from Trading Places, the movie. Okay.
He doesn't actually say it in the movie.
Brit or not a Brit? Let's start with you, Leah.
I go Brit, maybe from Manchester.
All right.
Union.
Yeah.
How about you, Joel?
Being sneaky, he's definitely a Brit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Northern.
Carl, where are you from?
I'm from Harrogate, North Yorkshire.
Okay. All right, they got it. They got it right.
Well, you guys are good.
Did you nail the region? Is that anywhere near?
Well,
No?
yeah,
Well, it is
Yorkshire
north,
is north, but we thought
North is
Mancunian.
very generic.
Yeah.
So,
What
I
is
don't
the
think it deserves a point.
TH is an F?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's just
both.
like both. That doesn't belong to any region. That's just like relaxed speech. I
Yeah,
guess.
just a little shortcut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Adele actually does that. I think she'll use
Yeah.
an F instead of the TH.
A lot. She does a lot.
Yeah. And why is Liverpudlian so sing-songy? Like when Steve does his Paul McCartney, it's really up and down. And
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't know why. I really like it. It's got a
Yeah.
But the only thing about Liverpudlian accent I don't like is the K's. So when they say Coke, they'd say Coke.
Chicken and a can
It's
of
like a
kale. Yeah.
It's not very nice.
That's almost Hasidic here. Like
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it, man.
This is my rabbi.
Yeah. How about, speaking of pronunciations, a popular one in slang is bruv.
Bruv.
With a V on the end.
Ted
which is
Lasso?
short for brother, right?
Yeah,
I suppose so.
Or you
Brother,
can say
bruv.
it to anyone.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bruv.
It's
Or-
like a bro here. Like we say, what's up, bro? You know? So,
Yeah.
but we don't do the V, but that's one I've found that's very, very common.
This is my brother.
Yeah. Has anybody made you aware of John yet?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
John.
okay.
In Urban Outfitters, that man taught us John.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking about John, a person. I'm like, where is this John person?
J-A-W-N.
We learnt that. We learnt that, yeah.
Doesn't it just mean anything? Like
Yes.
this water
To
bottle,
now.
like, oh,
Yeah.
this John of water.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You could literally say this John of John.
This John of John.
Yeah, because the
Wow.
John is the bottle and the John is the water as well. So.
Were you just at an Urban Outfitters store? Were you shopping?
Yeah, we were just having a look around, and then randomly one of the employees, lovely man, would start just teaching us Philly slang. Lovely.
I don't think they'd ever seen Londoners before.
Yeah.
Because then we heard him going around going, they're from London.
Oh my God, it was
They look human.
You know what? I'm going to tell you about this city that you may find surprising because Philadelphia has a reputation for being a bit cold and well, not cold, but rude
Rough, yes.
and tough. But
No.
when I have brought people in from out of town and I'll show them around the city, I kid you not, they can tell, like I remember pointing up at City Hall and mentioning Billy Penn's hat and so on. A person came along wearing I think they were wearing a Rocky shirt. And just started jumping in on the conversation
Right.
and offering up, and they were like, "Oh, there's a little version of the statue on the Comcast building."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I know," and so they just started sharing information. I think you'll be surprised to find out how friendly people actually
They are. They really
here
are.
and want to show you. People are very proud of this city, extremely proud of this city, and will want to offer up, hey, here's some slang for you guys, to kind of help you out around town.
Yeah, I don't think it gets enough limelight, does it?
Yeah.
I don't think
Well,
that.
we've got some stuff like the love statue, for example.
Kathy, it's Friday, and everybody's been good, so I think we'll do the Connoisseur today.
It's time for the Connoisseur. It used to be the most hated bit we did, but it's improving, actually. Because you've added a contest, and
We
now
did.
people are interested.
And we will do
Otherwise, you could care less.
we will do multiple giveaways during the Connoisseur segment. Oh, I need my bell. I need my bell. Sorry, Steve.
All right.
Got it.
There's
All
a
right.
whole bunch of good food stuff I've been seeing in the news, so I know this is going to be a stellar Connoisseur.
I'm going to marry two stories.
Oh, I thought you were going to have two
Nope,
styles.
marry two stories in this segment because they have to do with national days, national food days.
Okay.
We missed yesterday being National Chili Dog Day, which is crazy because we have the Chili Dog song.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas for us.
But today is National Hamburger Day.
Sucking on a chili dog.
Yeah.
Sucking on a chili dog.
And so National Chili Dog Day, we'll start with that. That was yesterday.
I celebrated, by the way.
You did? Where'd you go?
I did. I actually made it at my house.
Oh.
Yeah, so my brother was telling me about a hot dog brand that I had never heard. It's Apple something or other.
Was it just an apple?
No.
This hot dog tastes weird.
It's not Applebrook, but maybe Applegate. Applegate all beef sausage or hot dogs. And so
Is this a video of your
Yeah.
Oh, they look great, Case.
I did. I ended up getting like a New England style, like the bun. It's where they slice the top of the bun.
Right.
I just regular Cheese Whiz, and then I bought some Hormel chili, and I made it all at home.
It
was good.
I don't have chili dogs. I really like them.
They're so good.
I don't have them enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I should have one every day, every hour.
And you'll live forever.
I ended up, and Press, I don't know if you agree with this or disagree with this, but I ended up getting the no bean chili.
Okay. Yeah. All meat chili.
All meat
Those
chili.
are good. And I've had several chili dogs that are served up that way.
Yeah.
Cheese Whiz sucks ass though, but you know.
But on a chili dog, it makes perfect
Well,
sense.
it helps with the sucking.
Yeah.
So when you're sucking on a
if you're
chili
gonna be
dog,
sucking on a chili
suck
dog.
on that
Sucking on a chili dog.
But
Sucking on a chili
Cheese Whiz is like a lubricant.
I do like that all meat chili for chili dogs. I can do either way on that one.
I'm a bean guy.
By the way, so the hot dog has come a long way since German immigrants. Charles Feltman first sold frankfurters on milk buns from his snack stands in 1867.
You remember he was hung for doing that.
It became a huge hit and eventually
He had a giant wiener?
Yeah.
spread through the United States. However, when the idea to put meat, sauce, and spices on hot dogs appeared, it kickstarted a wave of innovation that helped expand the scope of American cuisine.
It rivaled the space race.
It is hard to pinpoint who exactly invented the concept of a chili dog, as many variations have emerged since the early years across the United States. But during the early 1900s, Greek and Macedonian immigrants who were fleeing their home countries due to economic hardship came to American shores along with their traditional meat sauce recipes.
So while it's usually a downer when a whole race of people need to flee an area, some great food usually comes out of it.
You got chili dogs out of it. But eventually, they would be responsible for the development of the Coney Island dog.
The classic.
A variation seen as the definitive image of a chili dog. And despite the name, this is what I found interesting, the dish did not originate in New York. So they called it a Coney Island. I thought that's because of that name. I thought that's where chili dogs were born, that they started selling them there. Not the case. The immigrants who developed the Coney Island dog settled mainly in the Great Lakes region, and they named it after their memories of visiting Coney Island during their journey.
So it was people who visited Coney Island who nostalgically named it because of that association.
That's it.
But then, of course, my second choice would have been the Great Lakes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Makes sense.
Superior? I think she could have called it Gitchy Goomy.
Gitchy Goomy.
Yeah, the Gitchy Goomy. Well, how do you like your Gitchy Goomy? So, meanwhile, in other parts of the country,
they'll let their chili dogs behind them.
Other varieties of chili dogs were being developed between 1918 and 20. The Texas Wiener, a hot dog with simple chili meat sauce. That's kind of what you made, Casey.
I've had that.
Emerged in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. The Texas Wiener emerged in New Jersey and
I once
Pennsylvania.
fought Kid Arizona and Oklahoma, Preston.
Well, the Texas Tommy is a bacon-wrapped hot dog. With,
That's not what this is.
Okay.
This is the Texas Wiener is what it was called, which is a hot dog with chili meat sauce, and it emerged here. In the early 1900s, the hot wiener, or New York system wiener, was born in Rhode Island.
With a system wiener.
The half smoke, a chili dog with smoked ingredients, was developed in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So the classic Texas wiener I have had in Texas, very good. But it's not, it was Texas chili, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I remember, unless I was having a faux wiener.
The only issue with hot dogs is just the logistics of it all.
The phallic nature.
Well, no. I don't mind that. I mean, I don't mind,
Sucking on
a chili dog.
I get off on it. But but like putting toppings on it. Like, so when you get like a Chicago dog that has all that stuff, including like pickles, there's just nowhere for it to go. Not like on a hamburger where you could just stack everything on top.
It's a mess. It makes a mess. No, I agree. It's a difficult. Listen, a chili dog, I have no problem using knife and fork.
Sucking on it.
For chili dog.
Yeah.
Because it's such a mess. It's ridiculous. You pick it up and fly. Stuff is flying all over the place. It's splatting. It's landing on your clothes.
I will tell you this:
knife and fork.
Every year, Preston, I could not. A sandwich that is too messy, and this works when we judge the Burger Bowl case. A sandwich that is too unwieldy and it cannot be properly eaten in its sandwich state is a loser for me.
Yeah. It'll keep me. Listen, I'll try.
It'll keep me up at night.
No, I'll try it once, but it'll keep me from going back for for more at another time. But that's why I love. And I really miss the Last Stand because they're quote unquote chili. It was he called it sauce. He didn't he didn't ask for a chili cheese, I guess, for a hot dog with sauce and cheese. But it was merely there as a flavor enhancer, right?
Right.
It wasn't a whole lot of substance to it, but like the flavor. And
what was it?
Dude, it was a secret recipe.
It's hemoglobin.
No. I mean, it was I think the grandmother made it, and then the
I don't want to tell you what it is.
And then the father made it. Like nobody other than the owner made the chili sauce.
I tell you what will kick up a regular hot dog anytime, and it sounds a little strange. Celery salt.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
Yep, it's fantastic. It's
That's not a classic Chicago dog.
Chicago dog.
Yeah.
Chicago. Yeah.
Chicago.
And
Chicago.
we didn't even touch on Pat's chili dogs, by the way.
Pat's chili dog.
Do we have that
We have
still?
to have
or is that
that.
I'm
gone?
going to look. I
I'll
don't
die
know.
if we
That
don't
was
have
actually Cinderella did a commercial back in the 1980s for Pat's Chili Dogs in the Philly area.
As a matter of fact, Marissa put together an amazing thing on PrestonandSteve.com on like our history of our obsession with chili dogs. And there is a nice little piece in there
I gotta
about
check that out.
Cinderella and how they ended up, becoming become to known as the Pat's Chili Dogs people.
All right, well, listen.
We don't have it right
That's okay,
now.
don't
Do
worry
we
about
have Bono's commercial for Nifty 50s?
By the way, it is today. So National Chili Dog Day was yesterday. National Hamburger Day is today. It takes place twice a year.
At least they cop to that. Every time you'll see one of these days pop up, and we'll all go, wait a second, didn't we already have that? Right in the beginning, they cop to the fact that there are two. I think the other one is in May.
I believe you are correct. So many people claim to have invented the burger, by the way. Some sources say that Louis Lasson did it at Louis' Lunch in New Haven, Connecticut on July 28, 1900, and that's why today is National Hamburger Day.
Watson, come quickly.
The choosing of December 21st for a day devoted to hamburgers seems to be arbitrary. So, no, Steve, it's December. Seems to be arbitrary and doesn't appear to be connected to anything in particular. No matter who came up with a hamburger, it was created sometime around the turn of the 19th century. I would have thought that it had been around longer.
Well, listen, it was my understanding because, as you know, I won a coloring book contest for McDonald's, and it was the history of the hamburger, and they said the hamburger came out of Hamburg, Germany.
Yeah.
And and I don't know, none of this seems to correlate to that, and I'm an award-winning hamburger colorer.
The popularity of the burger was boosted at the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis. I think the ice cream cone was then, too, at the World's Fair. So anyhow, it's National Hamburger Day. So have a hamburger.
They're glorious.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
What are you into any particular kind of burger now? I'm a smash burger fan now.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Shake Shack. I love it.
That's your favorite?
Their burgers are phenomenal. And I do like the smash burger style. I grew up with that kind of style because Steak and Shake, that's how they made their burgers. They would take fresh, what we call pucks of hamburger, and then they would flatten it out on the griddle. And
sounds so appetizing.
Oh, it's excellent. I know, right?
And then they take a dump on the grill.
My buddy Dave Stone used to work there, and we used to go. Let's go watch Dave flip pucks, man, because he would flip them way high up in the air.
Really?
And we would always be egging him on. You'd be sitting at the counter, Dave, flip them, man, flip them. He started throwing them. And after a while, his manager asked him to stop doing it because grease was flying all over the place. But he would have him go up and do 8 rotations.
Wow.
It was hilarious.
What's a smash burger?
So it's when they literally they take the the fresh beef and they on a griddle on a flat cooking surface. They'll take the spatula and really smash it down and get it real thin. And it gets crispy, but they don't cook it all the way full towards hard crispy.
Right.
And you usually get a couple of those patties because they're pretty thin. So we're looking at video of them doing a smash burger. So they flatten them way down.
Sorry, is that like Shake Shack?
I think they smashed theirs down. Yeah.
But Kathy, you remember they brought the Burger Buff. You guys got it for my birthday. We had smash burgers out in the parking lot. And that's exactly what he did.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
they get seared on there, and they have a really cool texture to them.
Yeah, and it's usually they're all done, well done. You're not going to get it.
Not going to medium rare.
But I make burgers I have a Blackstone griddle, and I love the way I make burgers. I put diced up jalapenos in them, and it's not overly spicy or anything like that, but I'm a big fan of making.
As with hot dogs, Casey, as with hamburgers, I think you and I have talked about this. Take the original, couple of flourishes. Don't go too nuts.
No.
Don't go too crazy.
No, the burger is the star of the show. You don't have to, do anything to dress it up too much.
All right. National Burger Day. Enjoy. All right, so let's do a clip.
Yes.
All right, let's do
so that people will continue listening.
a movie food clip.
Which one do you want?
I had one queued up.
Oh, well, no, because I played Pat's. I had Pat's
right there.
Chili's
Hold on,
dog.
I got it.
You do it.
Allow me to take control here. All right, this is going to be the movie clip for you. Tell us what movie this clip is from, and we have a prize for you.
Yeah, the Van Beek. Do you know it? All the big swing bands used to play there. Count Basie, Chick Webb. Anyways, the Samba Tapas place now, so...
What's a Samba Tapas place?
You know, it's just like a samba place where they serve tapas.
Oh.
Yeah, so the joke's on history.
All right, 215-263 WMMR. Let's see if you know what movie that is from. And we'll go through another story here. Connoisseur, you're going to love this. Kathy, it's about casseroles.
Oh,
and I know you don't like casseroles, but I have this. I very rarely give out a recipe on the Connoisseur. This casserole recipe comes from the one and only John Wayne, the Duke himself. He had a very simple casserole that he was known for. John Wayne was born Marion Robert Morrison in 1907. And while there are many stories, by the way, about why his nickname was the Duke, most are not true. Do you guys know why he was named the Duke?
You know, I do not know.
He actually got his nickname because of his beloved dog, Duke, when he was a kid. It's like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's the secret ingredient. I put pieces of my dog in my food.
So this is a recipe from John Wayne. I had no idea he even liked to cook. All right, so.
Here's my recipe for cereal.
So.
Get a box of cereal.
And so here's what you have. All you need to do to make the casserole is ground beef, taco seasoning, refrigerated biscuit dough, sour cream, mayonnaise, onion, cheddar cheese, red bell pepper, and tomato and pickled jalapenos.
And my dog.
And a little bit of dog.
Hot dog.
And by the way, thank you to Jerry Torres. He's the one who sent me this this article, which I thought was great. So here are the directions
of John Wayne's
casserole.
All right. By the way, I'm not a casserole fan as well.
Oh, I love them. So put the biscuits in a single layer in a 13 by 9 inch casserole dish. That's been sprayed with nonstick cooking spray. Press them onto the bottom and halfway up to the side, sealing them together to form a crust. So essentially, you make a whole crust out of the biscuits.
You make a crust out of the crust.
Bake in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 12 to 14 minutes or until very light brown. Then you remove it and set aside. Now, in a skillet, you cook the ground beef till it's cooked through, add the taco seasoning, and then usually have to put water in there according to the package directions. Once the liquid is evaporated, add half of the onions and the pepper, the red bell pepper, and then you cook until those are soft. So it's like 3 minutes. So real quick, it's pretty standard setup here, like you're making chili.
Okay? I don't have time.
In a small bowl, you combine the sour cream, mayo, half of the cheddar cheese, and the remaining raw onions. And then you layer those ingredients in the following order on the biscuit dough. You put down the taco meat. Then you put tomato slices on top of that, the onion mixture, the jalapenos, the sour cream mixture, and remaining cheddar cheese, and you bake that for about 30 minutes.
I might like this casserole, though I would almost consider it like a taco salad.
Well, there's no lettuce or anything. You could probably take some lettuce and then put this on top of that and serve it with it. But you
could do that too.
It's more like a taco pizza because it's got the crust underneath it.
Interesting.
So I think that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I might make this weekend.
John Wayne's own.
Yeah.
It's pretty goddamn tasty.
You probably don't like casseroles that have like cream of mushrooms.
Do not like it
as a base.
No.
So
String bean casserole I do not like.
Green bean casserole you don't like that? Oh,
No.
Love it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
The potato hash brown casserole that you guys introduced to our world is awesome.
It's
so good.
What is that?
No, go ahead, Press.
Rochelle makes it. It's hash browns, cheddar cheese. It's got sour cream.
Now that I could get into.
And it probably has cream mushroom in it or cream of chicken. And anyhow, you bake it and then you put you crunch up potato chips, and that's the crust on top.
Can you put bits of my dog in it?
Of course you can, Duke. No problem. Maybe we should do a casserole morning. Bring in a bunch of casseroles. Maybe bring
Kathy would love that.
Bring you guys around.
I don't know that there's one. I'm sure there's something out there, but when I see the dish, I'm like, ooh.
Is there any footage?
It's just too much stuff mixed together, right?
Yeah, I think it's too much.
It's the little kid in you. These things are touching each other. I don't like that.
It's like a taste explosion.
Okay.
Is there any footage of Wayne like cooking on a show or something?
I don't know. I bet you there is.
Yeah.
We'll have to check and see. All right, we're going to see if we can get a winner. Connoisseur, and we have this movie clip that involves food. What movie is this from?
Yeah, the Van Beek. Do you know it? All the big swing bands used to play there. Count Basie, Chick Webb. Anyways, the Samba Tapas place now, so...
What's a samba tapas place?
You know, it's just like a samba place where they serve tapas.
Oh.
Yeah, so the joke's on history.
All right, let's go to Linda. Hi there, Linda.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. All right, what movie is that clip from?
La La Land.
La La Land is correct. Hang on the line. We got a prize for you, Linda. Here's what it is.
We are going to give you a $25 Jersey Mike's gift card, and you can download the Jersey Mike's app. You can order ahead, pick up, and get it delivered, and even earn free subs. What are you waiting for? Download it today and start earning free subs.
There's a picture of John Wayne and Dean Martin in a kitchen.
Okay. All right. Well, they did some cooking at some point. All right. I'm going to turn right around and do another one here before we move on to the next story.
All
So
right.
what movie is this food clip from?
World-class serial killer out there, and we're having pie.
What do you do in your spare time, Strat? See, I sense you're not embracing the concept here, right? Pie don't work unless you let it.
All right. What movie is that from? 215-263-WMMR. All right. Order up. Okay. So when do Americans eat dinner by state?
What? Okay.
This is using data from the American Time Use Survey. And they did a survey on when the average time is that Americans eat dinner.
I'm going to guess. Can I guess PA?
Sure.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. All right. When do you guys generally eat?
6 p.m.
That's why you picked it. I'm an early eater. I can't eat too late. It just doesn't make me feel great. And also, I'm so tired and I'm hungry by like 4:30.
Okay. You don't want to fall asleep with your face in a casserole.
Yeah,
so will you regularly have dinner before 5 p.m.?
No, like between 5 and 6.
Okay. How about you guys?
I usually wait until right after the conference call, so just after 6 o'clock.
All right.
I'm all over the map. Because sometimes it's the 5 o'clock hour. Last night it was like 11 because we didn't eat at the event that we went to last night. So it changes from night to night.
I'm around 6.
Yeah.
I try to get done by 5:30, but that doesn't happen. So in Pennsylvania, actually, Pennsylvania has the earliest average dinner time in the United States.
What time?
That has to do with age. I bet our population is older than other states.
Yeah, or maybe our location in the time zone. Would that have anything to do with it?
Or maybe our position in the solar system?
It is 5:37. That's the average time.
5:37. Huh.
Earliest time. And Washington, D.C. eats the latest. Well, that blows the Eastern time zone thing out of the water. 7:10 p.m.
7:10.
What about Florida?
Florida, I'm sure. I would say if you're talking about that age thing, that probably skews earlier.
They're like 2:30.
Unfortunately, I don't have the entire United States. Shut up.
All right, so I just looked this up. Pennsylvania is 10th in the country as far as average age of its residents at 40.9. Number one, surprisingly, or to me anyway, U.S. Virgin Islands at 45.9, and then Maine, Puerto Rico, New Hampshire.
There.
Yeah. So my theory maybe has some water. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, we're the earliest. So
which state eats their casseroles the latest?
That one has not been determined yet. That's a
research
That's a 20-year study that they're doing. So they're going to have to get back on that. Lunchtime is about noon everywhere.
I eat one meal a day. Dinner's my one meal, and I have
you eat one meal a day.
Yeah.
You don't eat any food until you eat dinner.
I'll have like a protein bar. I might have a little smoothie, but dinner's my meal.
Yeah, like an actual meal. You sit down, different items on a plate.
And then but my dinner usually is about 3 or 4 John Wayne casseroles.
Yeah, but a sandwich can be a meal.
It can also be a soup if you add enough liquid.
I mean, just a sandwich by itself?
Yeah, that can be lunch.
No, you need chips in order for it to be a meal.
So what do you think it is? A snack?
What, a sandwich?
Yeah.
If you get
a sandwich is a meal.
Yeah, if you get a Jersey Mike's, if you get one of these hoagies over here, that wouldn't be a meal.
That's a meal.
You could have that. Could be considered lunch. So. That could be your lunch.
Yeah.
If you have a sandwich, you're having a meal.
Battle of semantics here, but I also know what you're going for with Steve. Like when he says he's only having one meal, just because he eats something doesn't make it a meal. Like, if you have a protein bar, right. I believe that you only have one meal. And my sister was the same way. She would only eat dinner.
Right. So I consider that. So the things I would have in mid-afternoon are like a snack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my snack is usually 4 John Wayne casseroles.
All right. We'll see if somebody knows what movie this clip is from.
World-class serial killer out there, and we're having pie.
What What do you do in your spare time, Strat? See, I sense you're not embracing the concept here. Right? Pie don't work unless you let it.
All right, let me go to Gerald, see if he knows the answer. Hey, Gerald. All right. Gerald, what movie is that from?
No Country for Old Men.
No. That is incorrect.
You're so
sir.
close.
Thank you. All right, we'll go to Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy. All right, Jason, what movie is that from?
That would be Men in Black.
Men in Black. Which one?
The
no.
original.
Nope. Incorrect. Sorry. We'll go to Mike next. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
Good, buddy. All right, what movie is that from?
Mike. That is going to be Men in Black 3.
That is correct, yes, because that's not Tommy Lee Jones. That who played
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin, who played him as the younger version.
Yeah.
And so he got it right, and we are going to give Mike this.
Mike, I'm going to give you a choice. You can either see Sebastian Maniscalco, Fallout Boy, or I can give you a case of beer.
Oh, I put him on hold case.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. Mike, what do you want?
I'll take the case of beer, guys.
All right. Well, then you won a case of Workhorse Brewing Company's Par Punch, the perfect beer for the course. It falls at 5% ABV. Juicy Ale offers a tropical punch aroma mixed with a blend of citrus juices, mango, and pineapple. You can grip it and rip it with Par Punch.
All right. Let me do another one here. This is another movie food clip for you. Let's play it.
Philip, could I have another Cabernet Sauvignon, please? Another cake for you.
I'm good, thanks.
That's okay, Philip.
So, now how long you been doing this peasant training thing?
I'm sorry? What was the question? I was distracted by the half-masticated cow rolling around in your wide-open crap.
All right. Kathy, could you stand hearing those lip-smacking noises? 215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you know. Order up. All right, and since that scene was about steak, we'll go to this particular story. We have a way to improve the taste of the steak that you're cooking at home, and it's a very, very simple thing.
All right.
It's a little thing I read about called the 5-minute rule.
The 5-minute, so you leave it on the floor for 5 minutes?
No, it's not like the 5-second rule. Okay. It's the 5-minute rule.
Mom's making floor steak.
But it does have something to do with leaving it there. So it actually is letting the meat rest after you cook it.
Yeah.
So you want to give.
Why is it so tired in the first place?
You want to give your steak a chance to rest after cooking.
I gotta take a break.
Throw your ribeye on the cutting board and walk away for about 5 minutes or so. Now, it's actually 10 minutes, they say, is the best. But the result is a juicier, more flavorful meal. And there is a little bit of science behind it.
Okay.
It allows the juices to reabsorb and redistribute within the meat. So there's, as the steak cooks, the muscle fibers narrow and shrink, leaving the flavorful liquid no place to go but onto the surface. And that's why sometimes you'll see it kind of pooling up on top when you're cooking.
Wait, is this this is before you cut it or anything?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So it says if you slice it immediately, the juices pour out, leaving you with a dry, flavorless piece of meat. But if you wait before slicing, the muscle fibers have a chance to relax and the juices go back in.
Yes, science.
Yeah.
So if you walk away, all right, 5 minutes, and you walk away and you look over your shoulder back at it and it sees you looking, have you ruined it?
No. In fact, that lets it know that you're interested.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Steve, I thought you were going to say there was 9 cats up on the counter because that's what would happen in my house.
God almighty, it's insane.
That's weird because I thought the 5-second rule was if it takes longer, 5 minutes, if it takes longer than 5 minutes to cook, you go to a restaurant. That's what I do.
That's the Kathy 5-minute rule.
Yeah.
It's called the Guppy's rule.
But it's allowing it to rest. And the same thing is with other meats, things that you roast. So like a turkey, you need to let that sit for a little while.
Is there
I usually
something
let
you
it
should-
sit for like 20 minutes to a half hour before I cut into it. Actually.
Okay, all right, leave it out.
Yep.
I usually only grill steaks, and my grill, let me ask you, is 20 years old. Is it time for me to get a new grill? Because I feel like it's not.
Probably.
There's one little quadrant of the grill that gets like a ton of flames.
So
and then,
all grills have hot spots.
Yeah.
All right. And a way to find out where your hot spots are actually
hold your cheek to it.
No, is to take some bread and put it on there.
Oh, that's a good method.
You could put slices of sandwich bread and just for a few minutes, and then you turn them over and you can see which spots are done more than the others, which are more toasted than the others. And so grills are that way. But if you have an old grill, yeah, dude, it's probably the burners are probably clogged up. You could clean it but like go get a Weber. So go get something.
I have a Weber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, then maybe clean it up.
He has a Webster.
Does it have a thermometer on the outside?
Yes.
Okay. Do you use that?
I do.
Does it hold the heat consistently within the grill? Like I know there's a hot spot, but like if you have,
I guess so.
Okay.
I guess so. I don't know, but there is one. There's just basically where the flame comes out from. You know, that's where there's a giant flame there, and the rest is more consistent.
So you can get easy replacement parts for.
I try to
for Weber, really.
Yeah, they had there's these like little flavor. They're basically like long
flavor bars. Yeah,
flavor bars. And my flavor bars,
flavor bars.
My flavor bars, they basically disintegrated, and I couldn't find replacements that fit my grill.
You can get all the replacement parts by just buying a brand new.
Yes,
you can do that too.
Yeah.
And they're not that expensive.
Nah,
you can get one for like $250 or whatever.
All right, we will see if somebody knows what movie this particular clip is from.
Look, could I have another Cabernet Sauvignon, please? Another cake for you?
I'm good, thanks.
That's okay, Philip.
So, now how long you been doing this peasant training thing?
I'm sorry? What was the question? I was distracted by the half-masticated cow rolling around in your wide-open wrap.
All right, we're going to go to Angela. Hi, Angela.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Movie, please.
Miss Congeniality.
Yes. That's correct. All right, Angela, we have a choice.
Yes. Do you want to see Sebastian Maniscalco, Fall Out Boy, or do you want a case of beer?
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah. All right, hooking you up. You got a pair of tickets to see Sebastian Maniscalco. It's going to be on Friday, November 17th at the Borgata Event Center in Atlantic City. Tickets are on sale now, and event dates run November 9th through the 18th. Visit theborgata.com for tickets and complete details.
All right, order up. Here's another one for you. I love this story. Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
what?
I was going to bring this up to you, and I wonder if this is because I saw it in Acme yesterday. Is it the same thing I'm talking about here?
I don't know. Is it his ice cream?
No, it's cereal. He has freaking Snoop cereal.
Okay.
Friggin'
Snoop cereal.
Find out some information on that while I tell you about the fact that he's he's partnered with Happy Company to create, and Steve, you'll remember this name, Dr. Bombay Ice Cream.
Dr. Bombay was the doctor on Bewitched.
Calling Dr. Bombay. Calling Dr. Bombay.
Emergency, come right away.
So I wonder why they've named it Dr. Bombay.
Maybe
Ice
he was a
Cream.
big fan of Bewitched.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I know he's designing a new car called the Darren.
The cool treat comes in 7 flavors. You get bonus track brownie, cocoa cream cookie dream, iced out orange cream, rollin' in the dough, s'mores vibes, syrupy waffle sundaes, and tropical sherbet swizzle. They are now available at 3,500 Walmart stores. So you've got Snoop Dogg and Walmart. Now, I don't know anything about the cereal. What did you glean from that case?
Well, so the cereal is called Snoop cereal, and I was like, okay,
That's a good name.
Well, but I was, and the character on the front didn't look like Snoop Dogg or anything like that. But then, where it would say like General Mills or whatever, the maker was Broadus. And that's his last name. Calvin Broadus is his name.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there were a couple of different flavors. I was like,
what's the actual foundational flavor? What is it like? Is it like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Well,
is
there's
it like...
one that's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. One that looked like maybe it was like a blueberry or like a blueberry type of cereal. But I was like, do I want to buy it? And my wife would be so proud of me because I didn't buy it. Because I'm such an impulse buyer,
Right.
But I was like,
you came home with magical beans.
No, I just bought $30 worth of chili dog ingredients instead.
Right. And a big foam hat.
So anyhow, that's available in Walmart. All right, one more, and I'm going to do the movie clip.
All right, the movie clip.
And this will be a last movie clip, and we'll do an ice cream one because we just had an ice cream story. All right, let's see if you know what movie this food clip is from. Here we go.
You can help us, Russell.
No, I'm supposed to stop you.
What are you gonna do? You gonna be Benjamin's monkey boy the rest of your life? Is that it?
Benjamin's my friend.
No, Benjamin is no one's friend. If Benjamin were an ice cream flavor, he'd be pralines and dick.
All right.
Yes.
215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you know what movie that's from. All right, so this is my final connoisseur story, and this is great. Passengers on a British Airways flight received one piece of KFC chicken each due to a catering mishap.
They each received one piece of chicken.
That was their meal.
That was their meal?
So
did they at least get to select it out of the bucket?
No. So, and this is what sucks about this too. It was a 12-hour flight.
Oh man.
Which they usually
enjoy that piece of chicken.
On a flight that long, they'll probably serve like 2 full meals.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
a snack in there somewhere too, because that's a good chunk of the day. It's half a day.
Good news, passengers. We have one row we're going to cut up.
So those aboard the 12-hour flight from the Caribbean to London could not be given regular meals after the plane's carts were not chilled properly. So the food was
bad.
It was bad. They had to discard it, and the flight crew they had to find an alternative. So according to a British Airways spokesperson, they said our teams sprung into action and made sure our customers had something to eat.
Oh, they sprung into action.
Instagram video footage shows the crew handing out chicken from recognizable KFC buckets. So
here's your Starburst. Here's your Starburst.
Apparently, it's all they could do.
Oh my God, no!
Man.
So they ran out and they just got a couple of buckets of chicken.
What was this, Heathrow? Where were they coming out of?
From the Caribbean to London.
Oh, maybe that was the only.
They didn't have much of a choice. Passengers ended up receiving a voucher upon landing
for a second piece of chicken.
The airline said we had to wing it on that.
They're so funny when their passengers are starving to death.
Tommy want wingy.
All right. Let's see if you can identify this movie. Here we go. Hang on, I'm going to play the clip. Here we go.
You can help us, Russell.
No, I'm supposed to stop you.
What are you going to do? You going to be Benjamin's monkey boy the rest of your life? Is that it?
Benjamin's my friend.
No, Benjamin is no one's friend. If Benjamin were an ice cream flavor, he'd be pralines and dick.
All right, let's see if Sean knows. Hey, Sean. Privilege. All right, give us an answer, Sean. What movie is that from?
Wayne's World.
That is correct. Yes. Does he get a choice?
He gets a choice.
All right.
Sean, Sebastian Maniscalco, Fallout Boy or beer?
Sebastian Maniscalco.
All right. There you go. Well,
Hang on a second.
Sebastian's going to be playing at the Borgata Event Center on Friday, November 17th. Tickets are on sale now, and event days run November 9th through the 18th, and you can visit theborgata.com for tickets and complete details.
All right, and that is all I have in the Connoisseur for you today.
Do you sense people are liking it more? I do.
Had some good stories in there today. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back in a moment. Actor Orlando Jones is going to be joining us in a little bit and some other things. Oh, by the way, I got this... a message Marissa sent to me. It's from Chef Eli Culp. He said, tell Preston I give him props for talking about letting your meat rest. Makes my heart happy. And he's a co-host with Marissa on their podcast. Which, Marissa, the name of your podcast again, please.
Delicious City Philly.
All right, Delicious City Philly. So my pleasure, Eli. We're educating here. All right, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Yeah. All right. So cool. 3 more for Brit or Not a Brit.
Okay.
I have John. Good morning, John.
Is this a John or?
This is a John. Not a John. All right, John, are you ready to try this?
Ready to go, Grub.
All right, let's hear it. Here we go.
There will always be a part of me that's dirty and sloppy, but I like that. Just like all the other parts of myself. I can forgive. Can you say the same for yourself? Can you forgive? Are you capable of that?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's good.
They're a little confused. Let's see if we can get an actual answer. Leah, what do you think?
I think he's a Brit.
Okay, what do you think, Joel?
Yeah, I think a Brit. From London, I think.
Yeah.
From London.
That accent was definitely like Cockney style East London, wasn't it?
Okay. John, where are you from?
Well, I'm not a slut, but I'm 100% American.
Somebody get him a
done, John.
We have a winner. Nice. It says here you're from South Jersey?
I'm from South Jersey, Sewell, New Jersey.
Nice. Where did you pick up this ability to mimic the accent?
Watch a lot of YouTube, Preston.
Watch them, yes.
Yeah, make sure you watch Joel and Leah. You'll love it, man.
Perfect your accent.
Absolutely.
All right, John, we'll be in touch. We'll get you something for your trouble, my friend. All right, we'll go for two more.
Also, Silver Linings Playbook. That line, yes, it was Tiffany, yeah.
Thank you. All right, Catherine, are you there?
I am. Morning.
All right, we have two Brits here that are going to try and determine whether or not you're faking it. Let's hear you deliver the Philadelphia-centric movie line we sent you for them. Go ahead.
Hey, woman. Hey, woman. Listen here. Since your old man ain't got no heart, maybe you'd like to see a real man. I bet you stay up late every night dreaming you had a real man, don't you? I'll tell you what. Bring your pretty little self over to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man.
Okay.
Do you know that line, Preston?
I don't. What is that?
Rocky 3.
Yeah, it's Clubber Lang.
Oh, man.
Remember when they're standing in front of the Rocky statue? Your woman, bring your woman over here. I'll show you who a real man is.
I haven't seen Rocky 3 in so long. Okay, let's go to Joel and see if he can determine Brit or not a Brit.
I thought she was very good, but I think not a Brit. I think California.
California.
California Brit.
Valley girl.
Leah.
I thought it was a very, lovely, eloquent delivery, but I think not a Brit, so I'd be very surprised.
Catherine, where are you from?
Originally from Lancaster.
All right, Lancaster, PA.
All right, well done.
You didn't get it past him, but thank you very much for helping out. All right, we have.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we have one more to go in Brit or not a Brit, and the final person is Robert. Robert, are you there?
Top of the morning it.
All right, top of the morning it to you. All right, Robert, we sent you a movie line from Philadelphia. Go ahead and give it to us, please.
You know where Southpaw comes from, I'll tell you. A long time ago, there was this guy, maybe a couple of 100 years ago. He was fighting around, I think it was around Philadelphia, and his arm, he was left-handed, and his arm was facing toward New Jersey, you see, and that's south. So then naturally they call him Southpaw. You see, Southpaw. South Jersey, South Camden, Southpaw. You know what I mean?
That's from Rocky Balboa.
Yes, yeah.
I remember
when they
that.
were on the ice skating rink.
What's that?
Number
Rocky.
Oh,
Not Rocky Balboa. Yeah, he's skating around with Adrian.
That's in the
South
skating rink.
South, South Philadelphia, South America, South, North, a direction, as in directions you might go, one of them being south.
And that's where we got it.
Yeah.
Joel, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Brit. I think he's from Ireland.
Oh, poor man. He probably doesn't want to identify as British, does he?
And
And
what
he's
about-
Irish, yeah.
You think he's Irish?
Yeah, I don't want to offend any because Irish people don't like to be called British, but for the sake of the game, British.
follow you.
Okay.
But
All right.
I think Irish.
Robert, where were you born?
Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh!
How did we get that
so
wrong?
we got it so wrong.
That's
I'm sorry, but that was
embarrassing.
so Irish.
Is that offensive to him?
You know what? I think Scottish and Irish get annoyed at English people for mixing up the accent. and
You're
we've done
right.
that.
Oh, we've just done.
I'm
done
so
it.
sorry.
You guys are so right, because one of my favorite vacations my wife and I took was to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And that is clearly something they're not fond of having the accent, the dialect confused. Yes.
No, I'm so sorry. We're such idiot English people.
Robert,
So sorry,
Robert,
mate.
can you get past this comment they made?
I identify as Scottish, so I'm okay with it.
You identify as Scottish.
Where do you live now, by the way?
I live in Wilmington, Delaware, but I work in Delco.
Okay,
Delco.
How long have you been in the States?
15 years.
15
years. All right, man. Well, thank you for playing along. We appreciate that.
Cheers.
All right,
All right,
take
take
care.
care,
All right,
guys.
there you go. Brit or
Well
not a Brit.
done.
All right, so
By the way, you guys killed it. You did a great job.
yeah, how did anybody keep score?
Yes. Somehow Joel ended up winning. 7-6.
That's what we said would happen. He's the linguist.
7-6.
Yeah, Joel got one right that Leah got wrong.
And then we had how many on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We had 11, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
I think that's damn good.
Absolutely. It's a difficult thing, especially over a phone.
Yeah. There were a couple of them where I was like, yeah. Yep. You could tell right away, just trying a little bit too hard.
When Joel and Leah started laughing
Yeah.
immediately on something, never a good sign.
I have a sixth sense. I see dead people. No, that's Japanese.
Now, to put you guys on the spot, do you have any American accent that you try to pull off?
No, we can only do generic Valley Girl, can't
Generic, yeah.
Okay.
Valley Girl.
do
Try,
that.
give it a shot.
we? Okay, so give us something to say and then.
That's the hard part, is coming up with
okay.
something.
We can just
Tell us what you're doing today.
Okay, so today we are going to Preston and Steve, and then after that we are gonna try a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, well done. She even got the vocal fry in there.
A slightly confused.
Right,
Kardashian,
vocal
yeah,
fry is very
little Kardashian.
Yeah.
Yep, there was a little Kardashian in there.
Oh yeah, that's all our references, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of,
Sadly.
Sadly.
How about you, Joel? What else are you doing today?
We might go to the Rocky Steps.
Yeah.
And to the penitentiary.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna have a good time.
All right. All right.
Antiseptic.
Yeah.
By the way, Eastern State Penitentiary, awesome.
Yeah.
That is very cool. Yeah. In fact, it was roundly condemned by Charles Dickens. So when for driving prisoners stone cold mad.
That's exactly what it did. Yeah. Yes. So you guys are in town for the next few days, and how quickly will the videos you make end up being put up? Or do you need to spend time editing, or are you going to put them up as you go along?
So the first Philly videos will probably be out this week.
Okay.
Maybe next week. So yeah, if anyone's just wanted to jump on our channel and have a little watch of us,
You guys
then
are so much fun, and I encourage people who haven't checked you guys out to check it out. It's very likable, and it's a great distraction and diversion, and it's wonderful.
And so I was telling these guys off air that we're supposed to get a bunch of snow on Friday into Saturday, and they really should. If you have the right gear, try and go sledding down the Art Museum steps. It is a real thing that really happens when it snows out.
It's
We'd
worth,
definitely give that a go.
it's worth getting the gear for, isn't it?
All the gear, no
They'll set you
idea.
up.
Yeah.
And give out to your social media and YouTube channel and all that stuff.
Yeah, sure. We are at Joel and Leah, JoelandLia, on everything.
Okay.
So you can find us that way.
Perfect.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you guys for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to see you,
Thank
and
you so
hopefully,
much.
hopefully we'll be over there again.
Yeah,
sometime.
see you in London,
Definitely.
guys.
Come on,
And,
man.
Absolutely.
visit you
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Excellent. All right, Joel and Leah, let's hear it for it, guys. With that, we are going to take a break. We will come back in just a moment, so make sure that you hang close, my friend. The band Coheed and Cambria will be at the Leah Core Center on July 27th. Tickets are going to go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. at CoheedandCambria.com. They are promoting their highly anticipated new record, which is Vaxis to a Window of the Waking Mind, and spiraling somewhere in the United States as we speak on a bus, headed out on tour. He is joining us live. Please welcome the singer of the band, the man behind the music, Mr. Claudio Sanchez. This morning. Claudio, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure, man. Listen, I'm going to be straight up with you from the very get-go, because we're excited about having this interview, and I just have the smallest amount of knowledge of Coheed and Cambria. I've been aware of you guys for a long time. I only know a few songs, and I was like, man, do I kind of, BS this guy and just pretend like I know all of his music and do the interview that way? But then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? You've got such diehard fans. The fans know about your music. They're going to go to your show. But how about the people that might not be that familiar with? And let's bring some new people on board this. And so I want to be one of those people. And the reason I know I'm going to be one of those people is I had this same type of sensation of just checking out and diving into your catalog in the last couple of days that I had when I first, somebody turned me on to Rush. Okay, so I'm a prog guy, and Rush is my band. And when somebody played 2112 for me the first time, that was my first dive into conceptual music. And I was like Pinto in Animal House when he finds out that there's an atom on your fingernail could be a tiny little universe. I was just like, I can't handle this. I was blown away. So I'm really open to diving deep into the world of Coheed and Cambria, because it's a very dense universe. There's a lot of material there. And I bet you love hearing about people coming on board and really experiencing the music,
Yeah, well, that's actually a big conversation we had when making Vaxis 2 with our A&R Johnny Minardi. Is just like, Coheed and Cambria has been a band now like 20 years. And it's like, well, what does that look like to somebody coming on board? And it's not that different from, say, like somebody getting introduced to maybe the Star Wars universe and then realizing there's this whole mythology, this whole catalog of records behind them that's vast, and so yeah, I mean, it's definitely a conversation that I love sort of having, is like, this is way more than just music. It's a culture, and all because I started it as a kid because I was shy. I just had a hard time singing about myself, and I was afraid to let people know about me. So I created a concept to hide behind.
And for those who don't know, Claudio, is that the band's work, now listen, there are concept albums. There's The Wall, and there's 2112, and there's Dark Side of the Moon, and these albums that have this entire, project that's just filled with this story, and it's amazing. But the band's entire work, from what I understand, is all a conceptual piece. Is that a correct assumption or a correct characterization?
Yep, with the exception of one record, which was called The Color Before the Sun, but everything else is part of a mythology I constructed, a science fiction epic called The Amory Wars, where Coheed and Cambria... where Coheed and Cambria are essentially, in the first 5 stories, act as kind of the Adam and Eves. They sort of set the whole mythology off. And then everything else is really about their sons coming into manhood, like an adolescent growing into a man and understanding like his place within this universe that he essentially has control over. And then after that, we kind of fall into this new story arc that we're working on called Vaxis. And that, when I look at the Vaxis story arc and I think about myself in there, whereas like those original Coheed records, I see myself as the adolescent and I'm growing up. Whereas in the Vaxis story arc, I see myself as the father, and that's really kind of the trajectory there. Those are the themes there, is how a father deals with, a man kind of coming into his own as a dad, basically.
I love this notion. I would have been, and I am now going to, because I just as Preston said, we're both fans of this kind of approach to music. It's few and far between these days. And it used to be the norm. And you would just get there and you would immerse and you would look at album art and you would be, what's the message? And you talk about album art. You've got the comic series. I mean, you've got all of this stuff that's dovetailing. Preston, at 16 or 17, if you found this band, you'd be outside the tour bus.
Oh, yeah.
Bugging the crowd. I mean, because honestly, I heard so many people that I respected and respect, Claudio, the band's name would always come up. And I'm like, well, I love this stuff. And so circuitously, I would experience and go, yeah, that's good. Not understanding, what is a very rare situation where it's not just simply a thematic concept album, it's a concept band. That is awesome. That's a mind blower.
Next Thursday is Preston Steve Belly Flop Championship. You're invited to join us. We're going to be at the Valley Beach at Valley Forge Casino Resort. It's 6 to 8 p.m. It's an early event, and it's outside, and you really get that beach vibe there with the cabanas and tiki bar, and they have food trucks, and it's going to be a great time. We've got our competitors. We're going to make the selections and finalize all that early next week, and then we have the party next Thursday. We haven't had it in 3 years, so here we go.
Awesome.
Come out and join us for the event. We're stoked to bring that to you once again. We got 10 minutes or so before Orlando Jones gets in touch with us.
So something quick?
We'll play that right before we bring him on for sure. He's got to hear that. But no, I figured we got a little time to kill here. So
talking about the conflict in Ukraine,
the time to killer. Wait, was it? Was
the
that
time killer?
Was that? No, wasn't that? Was it?
No.
Oh, by the way, real quick, I want to thank mystery listener who sent me the T-shirt that I am wearing today.
It's great.
Yeah.
Back off, War Child, seriously.
And that's what it is. It says "Back off, War Child, seriously," and it's a picture of Bodie. Of Patrick Swayze as Bodie,
completely done up.
Yeah, and I know who it was. A gal sent me an email saying that there was a package she was sending. I can't find the email, so I can't.
Son of a bitch.
Give her a plug and some love on the air.
It was even addressed to War Child.
It said to Preston War Child Elliott, which is hilarious. So thank you, and email me so I can thank you properly. Yes, Kathy.
And then I'm trying to find the damn Instagram. I wanted to thank that company that sent us those coolers.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. Love Bug Company. They're a small company, and they did the Bitch Box years ago.
They're awesome.
And they sent me, Preston, and Casey these awesome cooler/beach bags that they have now. They're really cool. So
Nick and I love ours.
They're for the beach. You guys don't are regular beach guys.
When on this planet would we ever be near a beach?
But they
a planet
are
that's 75% water.
The bag is like super durable.
Yeah.
And the cooler is neat, and it looks like it's made for mainly anything, but the cans will fit perfectly in.
Yes,
and look kind of shoddy to me.
Steve, I hate the beach. I can't stand it. I'm really glad they didn't send us one.
Wait, what I love about the bags is you could just take a hose and clean it up, like hose it down. It's that material.
Oh, no, they do look cool. They do.
That sounds convenient.
Well, here's the thing. Marissa and I are going to share one. Preston, you can share yours with Steve. Casey, you share yours with Nick. Okay.
Well, you guys are down at the beach a lot more.
Yeah, I gave it to the beachgoers.
Nick and I like to polish our Lamborghinis.
Hey, maybe Lambo sends something over for you guys.
Two things circling
We like
back
prostitutes.
to the T-shirt again, Preston. I watched that scene again recently. It's ridiculous. It's so silly and goofy. And Casey, your impression of Anthony Kiedis is hilarious and very spot on. And then my friend Matt just texted me the name of his fantasy football team this fall. Back off War Child.
I love it.
That would be a waste of time.
And I want to give a shout to Delco Johnskis because the T-shirt company guy, he's out of Delco, but he made these stickers that are basically, you can see it, the size of the Sharpie marker. It just says "Back off War Child." Seriously,
That's excellent.
That. Yeah, I need that for to put on the window of my car.
Yeah. Well, can he hook you up?
I think I might be able to afford it. It's payday.
I mean, look, you all got free coolers.
By the way, that whole movie is ridiculous.
It is.
And I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Roadhouse is ridiculous.
The dude throws a Rottweiler at him. He's running through backyards, and he throws a dog at him.
People don't understand that yes, we acknowledge that the script is terrible, but it is a blast from beginning to end.
I know we've had this conversation before. I do think it's overall a better movie than Roadhouse. Roadhouse is ridiculous.
I'm a roadie.
Yeah.
I'm a roadie.
That's you prefer Roadhouse to
yes.
Point Break? Okay.
By mere ticks on the dial, but I'm a Roadhouse fan.
The director is Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow
right?
then went on Hurt Locker. She's a former. She's the ex of James Cameron. She's an accomplished director and writer, but the dialogue is horrible.
I think she did Zero Dark 30 as well, maybe. Or, anyway, but the skydiving scenes in Point Break, I think they're beautifully shot. Like
I agree.
It's really well done.
I agree. And Patrick Swayze worked really hard to be able to perform those aerial acrobatics that he does.
If you ever watch the documentary, I Am Patrick Swayze, they made a whole series of these movies. I am Chris Farley, I am Patrick Swayze. And there's so many stunt guys who were initially this guy, and he would win them over by working his ass off to do stunts. As you said, the skydiving sequence, his martial arts in Roadhouse. I mean, the guy was really committed.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking of all the scenes in Point Break that are a little bit ridiculous. The football scene at night on the beach.
It's ridiculous. And the exchange, the dialogue at the FBI office.
Oh, my God.
It's overly macho.
Yeah.
The love story between him and the chick from
Lori
Petty.
By the way, again, I'm sorry.
I know.
I know it's all aesthetics and it's all subjective, but no way that they're all freaking out over Lori Petty.
I agree.
They could have gone a notch better.
Yeah.
Tank Girl is her,
She was cute in Tank Girl.
Yeah.
I thought. It was a quirky character, but now, if you've never seen Point Break, you owe it yourself to see it.
What'd you think of the remake? I thought it stunk.
Point Break, I didn't even see it. I don't need to.
Didn't even give it 2 seconds
Me
of
either.
time.
Wouldn't even piss on it.
No.
What were you going to say?
No.
Because now we've eaten up enough time to where I don't want to dive into what I had.
Well,
sorry.
With Lori Petty, I think even her hairstyle choice, she wasn't surfer girl. You know what I mean?
She was goth girl.
She was goth
kinda
girl.
punky.
Yeah. I would have preferred, Bridget Fonda in
La Femme Nikita?
No, Jackie Brown.
Okay.
That type of character would have been good.
She's hot, Jackie Brown.
Yeah, she is.
I never saw Jackie Brown. It's one that I need to see.
Yeah.
It's good. She
It's a
bangs.
movie.
I would have loved
De
to.
Niro.
Well, De Niro is in that. I would love to have seen him play the surfer girl in
Point Break.
You want to go surfing?
Yeah.
All right. Any more Point Break observations?
Let me think.
It has a good, laughable, as you said, with the throwing the dog, but that chase sequence is well directed.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's actually very well done.
We've gotten away from, and the pandemic had a lot to do with it. We used to do more frequently movie nights, and they were always a lot of fun. And every now and then it'd be a movie that I'd never seen. Like I never saw Teen Witch until I watched it with you guys.
Oh my God.
We love doing it, and we
They were
had
fun.
the location. It used to be at the truck, which had a great screen, and they would come down and the whole thing, and
Maybe we can try that again.
I would love to do those again. Those communal, because it's all but gone because of everyone watches things on their own schedule.
Yeah, that Bryn Mawr Film Institute on 30, that might be a good spot to do it.
And also, we wanted to get, oh my God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. Step Brothers.
Adam McKay.
Adam McKay to come and do a Q&A
and he's on
a
board.
screening of Step Brothers. Yeah, we just have to work out the timing for it. We should forward that notion to him again and see if he has any plans back here, and that would be a blast.
That would be so sensational.
No, I think
that
would be
a waste of time.
Richard Jenkins is talking. He plays the father in Step Brothers, and he talks about. I saw a clip of him talking about the dinosaur speech. And so Adam McKay, and when they're having the Catalina wine mixer, and so he's explaining, I wanted to be a dinosaur, and and I'd go around in the backyard and go, rah, 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 and my father would say, you stop that, you're 17, and that was all improv. Adam McKay said, tell the guys that you wanted to be a dinosaur when you were a kid, and then just go on it. And Jenkins, as he goes over to Adam McKay after that, he goes, I know. There's no way that's ending up in the movie. And McKay goes, oh, yes, it is.
Oh, that's great.
It's perfect.
The scene where where you realize they're both sleepwalkers. It's just so... They had to have been improving that.
They were improving that
the whole time.
The sequence where they're bringing up the tree and the packages, and he's flipping them and throwing them on the bed. It is a movie that is great that would not classically be considered a great movie.
Right.
I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, God, the one thing, I would like to start a movement to free it from Comedy Central. That seems to be the only place that airs it these days.
Yeah.
Get it back on a channel where you can play it with all the curses and everything intact.
Right.
But it's always friggin' Comedy Central showing it.
Going back to Point Break, what kind of sandwiches did Busey want? He wanted two. It was a meatball sandwich. It wasn't a hot dog.
He said, right around the corner is this little place that sells meatball sandwiches. Best I've ever had.
Yeah.
Would you go get me two of those?
2 Utah.
Yeah.
Utah, two.
What does Utah order while he's ordering the...
John Wayne casserole.
No. While he's ordering the meatball sandwiches. I know.
I don't know.
Okay. Tuna on whole wheat.
Oh, wow.
Like something very,
from a cart?
very conscious. What?
From a cart?
I think it was a shop.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was
a cart shop.
Yeah, I don't know. I could have used that for a freaking
damn it.
one of our food clips for the Connoisseur.
They still can.
I ruined it.
No one's listening.
Actually, there's a few other food moments.
Nobody's listening right now.
There's a few other food moments. I keep writing these down.
Yeah.
You have a journal.
Movies.
You know, I came
My dear journal.
I came to the realization that those movies, the 80s, especially the 80s, they were terrible for like when people would get shot. Like they would basically do gymnastics. You know what I mean? They were like
some would,
boom!
some wouldn't.
And like here's a double cartwheel back handspring.
It depends on the movie, right?
Yeah, a lot of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
Yes, of course,
without
for
question.
Christ's sake.
Hang on, Adam has a comment on Point Break. Hi, Adam, you're on the air. Good morning. Adam, can you hear me? Adam, can you hear me? Oh, it's Tyler?
What? That was so meek.
Where the hell did we get Adam
My name
from?
is Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
Hey, how's it going? I'm actually the guy from Trivia Night that Nick plays.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Give a plug for your trivia company.
Oh, yeah. It's Trivia Night at your place. It's on Twitch.
Should we ask for Adam when we call him?
Yeah, you can ask for Adam.
Oh, yeah. All right, what'd you want to point out, Tyler, Adam?
Yeah, I wanted to tell you about Point Break Live. My friend and I went once to New York, and it's a dinner theater type show. You go in, and they pick a person from the crowd to be the Keanu character. And
Johnny Utah?
And they have cue cards, and they have a girl in all black. She's the stunt double. She stands next to him the whole time. And they act out the entire scene live, like the entire movie live, and they give the Keanu character the lines. And then when there's a fight scene, she pushes him out of the way, jumps in, does the fight scene, and then comes back and puts him back on.
I love that. And to have him be the person from the audience, because Johnny in the movie is out of the loop, can't quite figure out what's going on. And
the audience votes on who gets to be Keanu because they all have to do an impression.
What? Do you remember where this is in New York?
I don't remember exactly where it was. We found it. It's if you look up Point Break Live, I think they did it a few places. But they even come out when they do the robbery scene. They run out with water guns and spray everybody in the crowd, and there's fake money and stuff.
Should see if we should.
That's brilliant.
Get them down here.
That needs to come to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
we're gonna look into that, Tyler. Thank you for the heads up, bud.
Hey, thank you. Have a
All
good day.
right, see you later. Point Break Live.
I got it. There's a website.
There's one in Philly, it says here.
Shut up.
No.
Scroll
All right,
down.
all right,
Scroll down, Adam.
We'll do some research on that. We have our guest on the line.
All right. Who's our guest?
He's Orlando. Played that just for him. His movie's called Till Death Do Us Part. We've had him on our program many times throughout the years. It opens in select theaters August 4th. Please welcome Orlando Jones to the show.
Orlando. I'm like, girl, be quiet.
Let the music play, man. How you doing, Orlando?
I'm fantabulous. By the way, the answer to that question is Point Break. Just because Keanu Reeves has his shirt off, I don't even know what else y'all talking about. You see man areolas, that's a winner.
That's it. How many movies have you been shirtless in?
First of all, that ain't none of your business. I did bottomless a couple of movies just because I'm an innovator.
Oh my God, that's the best. Listen, Orlando, the movie I had mentioned, Till Death Do Us Part. It's interesting because I'd read the title of your character. It says Groomsman 4, and I'm like, that's like an extras title. You know, it's what it sounded like to me. But I realize it's a way different setup, and it's unique in that. There are several people that are after this person, and they all have to do with the wedding party, correct?
Correct. Exactly. The wedding party is essentially a bunch of assassins.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. And this one decides she wants to break ranks because she married one of us, and now she wants to live the other life. And we're like, no, honey, that ain't how that go.
I love this. I love this concept. Yeah, like a high concept, revenge concept. I love this stuff. And apparently, you're all part of an organization called the Academy, this sort of secretive academy, as you said, assassins. And so she's a liability if she breaks from the family, correct?
I don't know how come she can't keep her mouth shut. I mean, a rat is a rat. So yeah, and she basically marries one of our brethren and then decides she wants to pull him out and go her own way. And of course, we can't have that. And I'm a huge fan of these types of movies.
They're great.
They don't really make these type of crazy movies, particularly with a female, a bride as the actual badass killer. So I thought it was kind of amazing and really fun to do.
Well, you meant obviously in Kill Bill she was called the bride. Right? So
that is correct.
Right. So and Natalie Byrne, I was not that familiar with. I think I saw her in one of the Expendables movies. She plays the bride. And I don't know if she has any martial arts training, but she goes full kick-ass in this thing.
She has a lot of training. Former dancer, ballet dancer, martial artist. She's also, she's not, 5'1".
Yeah.
She's
right.
like 5'10", 5'11". So she is a force to be reckoned with and fun to fight with, I have to say.
Thanks for mentioning that too, because listen, I love women doing action movies. I'm a Lara Croft fan and video games and superhero stuff forever. But when you, this recent trend of having a woman who's 80 pounds and 4'11",
like really?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not even realistic, right? You feel like you sneeze and you go across the room.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Just sheer physics make that impossible. So she looks like she could handle herself. So, and these. Orlando, these were the kind of movies, like I always call them, there was a great period in the 70s, high concept, where you'd get, like, the Warriors came out of the 70s,
Warriors.
They were great. Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing. I mean, Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez have made a career out of, making those types of movies. And I've known Tim Woodward since he was a filmmaker in North Carolina. So he literally called me, I think it was like 2 days before they were about to start. And they were like, we would really love for you to come do this. And I read it and I was like, yes, I will come do this because she's not 5'2", and I believe she can fight. And when I got into a thing with her, we were rehearsing and whatnot. I'm like, okay, you spent a lot of time in the weight room. You were not messing around right now.
And that reads right on the screen.
Yeah. She's a murderess. She's unbelievable with it. I tip my hat to her, actually.
So, Orlando, if you're playing an assassin and these other guys are, do each of you have like a specified method of murder or weapon speciality or anything like that?
We don't reveal what that is in the movie. You end up finding that out because we're at a wedding party, right? We thought we were just rolling in to grab the bride who was having some cold feet issues. We kind of stumble into realizing we've got ourselves into a situation.
Okay.
I'm obviously the sexy dark chocolate. Right? They call me Folgers.
I'm the sexy dark
That's
chocolate.
my nickname. Yeah, they call me Folgers because I'm dark and rich. You know what I mean? That's how.
All right.
But I love the idea of doing this type of film primarily because it gives you like a duality to play, right? On one level, this guy's not messing around, but on another level, he's looking at his comrades like, come on, dude, we showed up here to get the bride. Everybody relax. So he kind of slowly realizes, he starts off thinking this isn't a big deal. And about 2 kills later, he's like, oh, hold the hell up. What?
Yeah, no, listen, it works every time. A movie like this, for me, I know there's a whole, look at the success of the John Wick series based on, he has his
with my man Keanu.
Yeah, his puppy's murdered, and he, and that sets off this whole chain. So stuff like this is great. I see that Jason Patrick is in it as well. Do you share screen time? From what I understand, he's in flashbacks primarily.
Yes, Jason is sort of filling you in on the whole sort of backstory and other madness of it. We are not together on camera in this one because he's not a part of our active clique of getting stuff done. He's more of a Charlie from Charlie's Angels, overseer type guy.
Okay, well I'll tell you this: Film Threat, which is for cult film fanatics like myself. They're very revered, and they gave a great review to the movie, and they're saying it's a surprising little actioner, and they give it an 8 out of 10. So that bodes well because they could be pretty critical, and they loved it.
They're super critical. Look, we had an A cinema score, which is a little crazy. And frankly, if you spent your money on the Barbie movie, go have some real fun. I didn't know what was. I took my daughter for her 13th birthday, right? And we thought it was going to be super fun. And my 6-year-old leaned over to me and she said, "Daddy, what's patriarchy?" And I was like, we crossed the line here already.
Well, you're in a series that's doing, and I wasn't familiar with it. It's on Apple Plus, Swagger, and it's basically Kevin Durant's memories as a kid, correct?
It is based loosely on Kevin Durant's transition from being, a young high school phenom who then jumped straight to the pros. But the producers are the director of Woman King, Gina Prince-Bythewood, and Reggie Prince-Bythewood. Beautiful, gorgeous, critically acclaimed sort of thing. But on Swagger's on Apple TV, amazing. And I think that was the trouble of this movie. I was shooting Abbott Elementary, Swagger, Winning Time for HBO, and then this simultaneously.
Well, yeah. Well, you're people love you on Abbott Elementary. I do. We love the series. Obviously, it takes place here in Philly. Mm-hmm. So, do you have any now with everything on strike or whatever? We don't know what's going on, but I assume the plan is for you to return. You're a pretty big character.
Yeah. I mean, that's been obviously the plan for me to go back and do all that madness. But first, I'm just trying to clarify that every little bug-eyed black boy you see on TV don't belong to me. That's not my son. All right? Most of my kids wind up in a Kleenex next to the bed. I just want to be very clear.
Oh, my God.
You don't understand how often I get this. They call that original. I saw this lady the other day, and she walked up to me, and she says, "Oh, my God, you're that man from Abbott Elementary." And I said, "No, I don't think I'm who you think I am." She goes, "Yes, I know you because you were on Everybody Hates Chris." And I'm like, okay, this is not going to work. I'm both of those Joes, but I'm not Tyler James Williams. What's happening right now?
Yeah. No, that you honestly that would work. You would probably lose on the Maury show during the paternity episode because you guys do look a lot alike.
I'm not paying child support for that boy. This is why we're having this conversation.
All right. We know you got to run, Orlando. We love talking to you. Thanks so much for checking in again. Death Till Death Do Us Part is opening up on August 5th. Take care of yourself, man.
All right, you too, brother.
All right, we'll see you. Orlando Jones. There you go. I'm a sucker for The Replacements still. Yeah. I would love to have talked to him a little bit about that, but there was plenty to go to. But think about it, like Jon Favreau was in that movie. There were a bunch of people in that cast.
Yeah. Who was the big Hawaiian?
Oh, wait, are you thinking?
I'm thinking of the other one, Kathy Ireland.
Necessary Roughness.
Necessary Roughness.
No, but who else was in it? Was the guy who was the field goal kicker.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
And he was...
his name is Reese Ifans or something like that? Yeah.
And he's been in tons of stuff as well.
He's in Harry Potter.
Yes.
He was.
Xenophilius Lovegood.
That is correct.
Yeah.
The father of.
But I went to the press junket in Orlando for a little while, and who else was in? Julianne Moore.
There's not
like Reitman.
But being this close to Julianne Moore was just awesome.
Stunning woman.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And was Orlando the Make 7 Up Yours guy?
No.
Make 7 Up Yours. It might have been. Because they did have a campaign. Not the old Uncola 7-Up campaign.
Right, that was Jeffrey Holder.
Yeah,
it was a T-shirt said Make 7 on the front and then said Up Yours on the back.
Yeah.
Might have been him.
Was
it?
1999 to 2002, yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
That's cool.
I was telling somebody the other day, I forgot who it was, about your, you talk about press junkets and things like that, your Ryan Reynolds story. Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, Wrexham is in town tonight to play the Union. And you guys were at the junket for Van Wilder. And there was a party in a bar.
Yeah.
And how did you end up out of the bar with him?
Well, so there was a party upstairs that was just for the VIPs. It was just for the stars of the movie and Sugar Cult. I'm bouncing off the walls again.
Yeah.
Whoa. I think that song was maybe used in the movie. But so that party was just for them. All the radio people that were on the junket were allowed in the bar. But so anyway, I'm walking out of the bathroom and there's Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, oh, and he was in our studio. And you guys made sure that when he came in to visit us, that we gave him the stack of Sonic Session CDs.
I don't remember him being in our studio.
He was in our studio in media. Yeah.
Wow.
Years ago. Yeah.
Oh, my
you mentioned
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We used to do that. We used to give the full catalogs to sort of suck up to them.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it was media. But anyway, but giving him that stack of CDs made him remember me.
Okay.
And anyway, he's like, oh, let's go upstairs, man. I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm like, it's just for you guys. He's like, well, no, you come with me. And so we went and grabbed my wife, who I think was just my fiance at the time, and brought us upstairs. And we hung out with Tara Reid.
Yeah, but on the way in, the security guard wasn't going to let him in.
He's like, no, you guys can't come in here. And Ryan goes, no, they're with me. And he goes, no, you can't come in here. And he goes, and Ryan is a sweet guy. He goes, just take a look at the poster behind you, right? And the guy turns around, there's a giant poster of Ryan Reynolds. And the security guard was like, I'm so sorry, And so he brought us in, and I got to hang with him and Tara Reid and
Casey, so we were hoping Ryan was going to be in for this.
I wanted to see if he remembered us.
Yeah.
And I bet you he's the kind of guy I bet you would remember something like that.
From what I hear, he is just a sweet, still to the, because even there, his star was rising. I think he was in a couple of shows, Two Guys and Girls in a Pizza Place.
He was also in the series, the series out of he was in the kids show. God, what was the name of it?
It's a good question.
Well, he was I used to watch him on a show called 15. It was a soap opera.
That's it.
That was
out of Canada,
was it? It was out of Canada, and I watched him in that. And the only other person that I've ever seen come from that show is a guy who ended up being on, do you remember the show Love It or List It?
Peter North.
No. So he wasn't, there were two Love It or List It's on HGTV. And so there was a guy that was on the second version of Love It or List It. But I remember watching him on that show 15. I watched that every day when I got home from high school. I don't know why. It was terrible. But I still watched every single episode.
But Ryan Reynolds was the star of that show?
He was, he was the little brother Billy.
He was 14.
Yeah.
But I love that story. He was cool and continues to be that way, so it seems. And so
it's not here.
So he and Rob McElhenney have their football team, Wrexham, and they're playing the Union tonight. And Marissa told me it's all but sold out. There's a handful of single tickets. If you want to get tickets to the show,
this is so basically, it's not the it's the support team for the Union, correct? It's
the Union team, right?
Union
it's like the AAA team,
right?
Yeah.
But it's the facility, everything, to see it there in person. It's a blast if you've never been.
Here, Marissa sent this over for us.
I'm bouncing off the walls again.
Whoa.
I'm looking like a fool again.
Whoa.
Through my reputation. One more song for the radio station. I'm bouncing off the walls.
Sugar Cult, man.
All right, why don't we take a break and come back in a second and get your B file and keep things moving forward. It is a Friday after all. We'll return shortly. Do I have more of these to give away?
One more.
All right, let's do this now. $25 gift card for Jersey Mike's. If you're headed to a summer picnic, be calling number 15 right now, 215-263-WMMO. We'll set you up. Backyard, adventure, a beach day, any of these things. Jersey Mike's has you covered with everything you need to beat the summer heat with cold subs, crunchy chips, and you can order on the app and pick up on your way as well. 215-263-WMMR. We'll be right back.
And or was that the modus operandi from day one?
So when I started writing material, I think I was about, I was a teenager.
Right.
And I became the singer of this band. And when I was writing the material for it, before it was Coheed and Cambria, I started to realize I just had a hard time. I had a hard time singing songs about myself, putting my heart on my sleeve. But though they were, so I just didn't want anybody to go, oh, I know that person now because of the music, So I started to construct this concept. So I took a trip to Paris, France in 1998. And there's where I started to construct the ideas of Coheed and Cambria, the characters, some of the first songs on the first record. Just because I hadn't been anywhere. I'm a New York kid. The furthest I had been was New Jersey. And now I'm in Paris, and it was so wonderful. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just really adopt this as a songwriter. Of course, I'm a teenager. I'm not thinking that strategically, but that's just what I thought. I was like, you know what? I'm shy. Let's just put this out there with a curtain, and that's what I did. And then, when the band got signed in 2001 to Equal Vision, an indie up in New York, they didn't like the name of the band we had at the time. And so Coheed and Cambria happened to be this project I was working on the side, and the band really liked it. And so with that, we adopted the name, and I took the concept with me, and it's just kind of been I guess from day one when the signing, I guess you could say it's always been the thing.
That's great.
All right, so you had mentioned entering this universe for the first time, and you had sort of drawn the parallel between your music and, let's say, the Star Wars universe. So for us, the Star Wars universe started with Episode 4. So if we were talking to somebody who had never seen a movie before, we might start with Episode 4, and other people might say, no, you got to start with Episode 1, and then other people might say, no, you need to start with Rogue One or whatever. So what I want to ask you, 20 years later, and I've done this with other bands where I discovered a band, 4 records in. I'm like, okay, well, where do I start? Do I start with the newest stuff or do I go back to the beginning? So for you, for anybody who just heard Shoulders for the first time, and that is their introduction to the band, do you recommend starting there, or do you recommend going back to 2002 to the Second Stage Turbine Blade?
I think it's totally subjective. I mean, this answer changes all the time. It all depends on timing, right? Like if we were to finish, say, the Vaxxis story, which is 3 more records, my answer to this question would be different. I would say, I'm really proud of Vaxxis 2. I think Vaxxis 2 really kind of stands off on its own. I also really love the idea of coming into something late and then discovering the fact that there's all this other stuff to consume. But if I had to say, Second Stage Turbine Blade is basically the second part of the Amory Wars. That is the second part in this huge mythology that's probably going to ultimately be 12 parts. But that's the second part. The origin story of those characters is in a record called Year of the Black Rainbow. So technically that's the first. Here's the thing. So sorry, here's where my crazy gets into play.
All right, it's all good.
Every record has a numeric value. So Year of the Black Rainbow, year being singular, Second Stage Turbine Blade, second being 2, In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3 is the third part, Good Apollo 4.
Oh my.
So every record has its numeric value within the story. The Vaxxis story arc, however, that's sort of more cryptic. The V for Vaxxis stands for the Roman numeral 5, and the axis in which all of the Amory Wars is now going to revolve. So it's a little heady.
No. This is absolutely, and I love it because I'm looking at a color code that explains a song can be exclusive, like Red, for example. A song can sometimes be exclusively from the point view of a character in the real. I mean, there's a breakdown of tone of who is speaking based on a color code. Your fan base is obviously very much into the minutia. We are as well for so many things that are pop culture, and obviously you're a science fiction fan. So what has rocked your? I got to assume you're a Dune fan, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I love all versions of Dune. I love the Frank Herbert book. I actually liked the David Lynch movie. I mean, when I saw that, I was a child.
So did Steve and I.
Yeah,
I had no.
We're fans as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I really love the new one. So yes, I'm definitely a fan of Dune. Definitely a fan of Star Wars. I also really like I liked Krull. Are you guys familiar?
Krull, of course, Krull.
Yeah.
It's cheesy goodness.
Oh my God!
That sort of star, that
claw
weapon,
star that he would throw.
was awesome. Yeah.
The glaive.
The glaive.
Yeah,
Dude, I wanted one of those so bad. Yeah, I totally. Yeah.
I was like, right, but like so that was like the thing, right? So when I was a kid, like you'd sit watching HBO in hopes that Star Wars would come on, and HBO would give you like give you Krull, they give you Ice Pirates. Do you guys remember Ice Pirates?
with Robert Urich. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Like so, those are like sort of the those are like the science fiction movies that I got kind of brought up on. Comic books, obviously. Anything sort of pop culture, like Saturday morning cartoons, He-Man, G.I. Joe. I was just like I thought Tron. I think the era that I grew up in. I mean, I'm a pre-adolescence. I'm in the '80s, so it's very character driven. People are trying to sell toys essentially, and like so characters are very defined. Even in like the most cheesy way, when you think of like G.I. Joe, you got Shipwreck, who's like the sailor, or so like. I think I was kind of lucky in that respect because I don't know that all that stuff really influenced me.
Oh, we talk
like
about
hard.
this. Yeah, we talk about this, especially from that period. We were just talking about the movie Alien Nation. Do you remember that with the?
Yep, absolutely.
Right. All of those were they were very high concept, very easily consumable science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because that gives us a fixed point at what was your impetus for this, and it all makes sense. But that's very cool. So besides the comic book and the music, since everything obviously has a very theatrical aspect to it, would you take a foray into films? Is this something that has actually happened and we're unaware of, that you've announced any plans for films? Because I think your vision would be perfect for this.
We've attempted it, but on a very grassroots sort of small level, not in a very serious way. Like, no one's really come to approach us essentially. Okay. Like at one point, Mark Wahlberg tried to get involved, his company Leverage, but it wasn't really, I mean, I think it was like the wrong time because now I got to tell you, like, I get asked this question way more than I've ever. And I think it has a lot to do with maybe the Vaxxas story arc because a lot of the accompanying art, the story is very photographic. It's very photorealistic, and it's easier to see, I think, than it ever has been.
Right.
So I get asked it a lot. So I have a feeling it might happen. Nothing right now, but it just feels like the wave is pushing in that direction.
All right, so Claudio, to that end, in 1998, when you're writing in Paris, essentially you're creating this story arc, but the constant from 1998 until right now is the music, right? The music sort of is at the base of a lot of this stuff, and a lot of what your career has become. However, in 2022, you're sitting on a tour bus and you're Zooming with us, and we're in completely different states. So obviously, and in many ways, the technology over that amount of time has changed vastly, which allows you to tell the story in many different ways. Which part of the technology advancements that we've had over the last 2 decades is most appealing for Coheed and Cambria? Which part of it is just kind of a distraction? Like, what have you guys really embraced? And you're like, oh my God, this is a really great way for us to tell the story in a way that we really want to.
I mean, I always want to see it kind of get played out in a live action, just in the simplest form, whether it be television or movie. But there's so many other things now we have VR, we have metaverses, we have all sorts of stuff. And I think there's a lot of source material for us to draw from, and again, like that was never really my approach. It was really just to make, comic books essentially, just to tell these stories in a different way, watch them get up off the record and come to life. And now it's like, yeah, sure, movies and television, but there's so many other places to stretch.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to wrap my head around all of them. But, you know, at this stage, I mean, I'd like to do everything. I mean, I think these characters are, I think the characters are really, you know, when I see our fans and I see them resonate with certain characters, that's so insane to me, you know, because I never anticipated that. I never anticipated anybody to see themselves connect with a character. That was just not on the top of my head. And like, when you see that fans have like a favorite, like you have Ambelina on their arm, or, you know, Willem Ryan, and, you know, it's just like, wow, you know, that's like me resonating with like Freddy Krueger or Darth Vader. You know, it's so cool.
No, absolutely.
I want to talk about the fandom for a second here, and I'm going to lead this part by saying that we got a tweet from a fellow musician, Claudio. It is a Peanut from 311, and he's listening right now. So he tweeted at us. So I wanted to give a shout out to Peanut, who's listening this morning. But you mentioned the fandom, and I'm going to give you an example. And this is a killing two birds with one stone, because I want to thank this listener. This morning I came in and there was a box sitting over here in the studio, and I'm like, well, what the hell's that? And I open it up, and first of all, it is a 4-pack of the Rush beer. All right, that was sent to me. All right, and it came with a letter. It says, Preston, a beer to share with a fellow Rush fan. These are not for export in the USA, so I coordinated a delivery from Henderson Brewing Company in Toronto to an associate's friend in Ontario. It was then driven from Ontario to Michigan to his mother's house. Oh, my God. A work associate drove from Michigan to Ohio. From Ohio, it was driven to Harrisburg, where I picked it up, and I drove it home to Langhorne, PA, and I now share a few with you. That is from Dean Gutierrez, an MMR listener. And so the reason I bring this up, A, I wanted to thank Dean. And second of all, in the world of progressive rock, there is a connection with the fans that I think is unique to itself. And because of conceptual works like you guys do, Claudio, there's further discussion about the music other than, I really like that song. Man, that rhythm's great. Or this guitar part's really awesome. You start talking about the subtext of the characters and the stories and all that stuff, and it just makes for a really special fan base. And I wanted to get, you know, your impressions on that.
Yes, we are so fortunate. I mean, our fan base is just amazing that they get into all of those sorts of things. Like last fall, we did a cruise that sold out, and everyone was super respectful. It was just, you know, it's more of a family. You know, we see the same faces a lot of the time. We've created relationships with something that, again, like I just never thought I could only have dreamed of.
Right.
And it's like it's like happening.
I wonder.
We're lucky in it.
I wonder, Claudio, how much of that connects to, and you come from a point of being shy, and and I did stand-up comedy. I'm doing this now, but initially I was kind of shy, and I think there's something. I think that draws a certain. You don't want to make blanket statements. It's for everybody, obviously, if you enjoy. But I think you're probably connecting in a way, because that's well known about you and your impetus for starting all this. That the people who don't feel that there's something quite for them, you're providing that. I mean, on a basic level, we can sense your joy over being able to do that. Would that be? We're getting to use it.
Yeah, exactly. They have arrived in our studio via the UK, and we actually hung out with them in London. They came by our live broadcast when the Eagles were playing, and we did a few days in London, and they are in town filming for their YouTube series, and they're great people. We love them. Give some love to Joel and Leah, who are here.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Yeah.
We're good. We're even happier you've used that music.
Of course.
Very royal.
Iconic. As soon as it came on, I was like, this is incredible.
Any American
Criminal
show.
trespass. Officials say even more charges are pending.
He's also a pimp.
Several businesses along the North Expressway corridor reported a string of car thefts over the past month.
You know that statistically, a tremendous amount of the carjackings that are occurring around Philadelphia, underage people who don't even have kids who don't even have licenses, 14, 15 years old.
So did you say the majority of them are?
A large portion of them.
Okay.
So when my neighbor's car, they were trying to break into it because it was a Kia, and they were going to use that USB method. The police officer that responded said there is a substantial amount of underage car theft going on.
Camera footage helped detectives identify the suspect, and authorities have not identified the boy because of his age. A man has been terrorizing residents of an East Hollywood apartment building and creeping around the complex naked. Here's another naked story.
Well, we have a girl for you. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, nice to meet you.
You interested in going to San Francisco?
I'd love to.
Fearful.
You can poop on the streets there.
That's right. And unfortunately, did you hear Tony Bennett die?
I heard.
I know it's
what
sad.
a loss. You know he was Sinatra's favorite crooner? I knew that. Poop in my hands.
Fearful residents. Fearful residents in the complex say the naked man keeps breaking in, walking around naked, and disturbing the peace. Resident Vanessa Salguero said he was walking around naked one night, just full on naked.
He needs a naked. He needs a naked attorney.
I wasn't able to sleep there the last week or so. She said I developed really bad insomnia, really bad anxiety, and I know everyone else has been feeling the same thing.
Made me drink some more milk.
The strange man was also caught on home surveillance camera carrying a large knife, and on one occasion carrying a knife and a mask during a separate incident.
That's not good.
Residents say the
That's a
unwelcoming
bad combination.
visits started after another woman was taken into psychiatric hold after terrorizing those same residents and threatening to blow up the building.
Might be time to move.
She moved to San Francisco.
Yeah. I just like the environment.
Since then, new unwanted visitors, including the man, have come looking for her. The apartment
It's
manager
not safe around here.
left a note on the tenant store saying that they are acting within the parameters of the law, but residents are demanding that more should be done.
How is walking around naked acting within the parameters of the law?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a very good question. All right. Here is, let's see. Let's go with this one. A fisherman reeled in a surprise catch when he pulled a human foot from the waters of a lake around 11 a.m. Monday in Quebec, police said.
That's a beauty.
You and the feet?
It travels, yeah.
Quebec's provincial police said a Monday news release, the fisherman caught the human remains in Lac de Pere.
Put up a hell of a fight.
A forensic identification team and divers from the provincial police force are going to be on site to try and identify what this foot means.
Do you remember was it in Seattle?
Yeah, it was in somewhere in Washington State.
And they were finding feet along
like
the beach.
regularly.
Human feet.
Yeah. And then we'll do one more story, and then we will wrap it up. 40-year-old singer, Brocard, I guess is her name, of Oxfordshire, England, married the spirit of a Victorian soldier last year, but the two are headed for Splitsville.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Brocard says she met the ghost of Eduardo on a stormy night in 2021.
How exotic.
The two were inseparable, but now the pair is having relationship problems. First, they couldn't decide on a wedding date, and after the ceremony, Eduardo came overly intoxicated during their honeymoon.
That's the problem with the ghost lover. You never know if they're inside.
Yeah, and he had whiskey D.
Yeah.
And Brocard now says her ex is now ghosting her for the late Marilyn Monroe, who she spotted at their wedding chapel.
If you're going to be dumped for someone,
I mean,
Marilyn
you can't.
Monroe.
Yeah, that's might be easier to accept. All right, and there you go. That's what I have in the Bizarre File. One final break to take. No, not one final break to take.
Come on.
Another break to take.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
And then we're going to do the lesson question, trash, and music news when we get back. Stay there.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Meat Lounge.
Yeah. Finally, we're getting to use it.
Yeah, exactly. They have arrived in our studio via the UK, and we actually hung out with them in London. They came by our live broadcast when the Eagles were playing, and we did a few days in London, and they are in town filming for their YouTube series, and they're great people. We love them. Give some love to Joel and Leah, who are here.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Yeah.
We're good. We're even happier you've used that music.
Yeah. Of course.
Very raw.
I had somebody tell me yesterday, I'm going to bring it back to this. They were like, it was so enlightening to hear you guys talk about a female-based product, the menstrual cup, not fart jokes and porn.
Here we are.
We're back.
And we just did it all.
Don't worry.
We did it all.
Absolutely.
Hey, this might be the perfect opportunity. All right, Marissa, I sent you guys this instructional video.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday. Did you watch it?
I heard you watching it in the office, and I could hear it, and I'm like, what? It's got to be some sort of sex toy or something.
So it's this bizarre product, and I sent it to all of you guys, and the subject line I used was instructional video. Please watch. Nobody got back to me. Like not one person responded to me, and I'm like,
yeah.
Did I offend Marissa and Kathy? Well, I know I didn't offend Kathy because she was in the same room. That's
a terrible feeling when you send out something you think, oh my God, did I cross the line?
Right.
And I wanted to watch it, and you were making such a thing about it that I wanted to not be distracted, and I never got around to it.
Marissa, see if you can grab the audio from that, and I don't know if it's fully. If we can play it or not, but there are specific body parts. I don't think it talks about insertion or anything like that, but it is this quote-unquote massage piece of machinery that is one of the most involved-looking things I've ever seen. If it's indeed made for, it has to be.
Back here is the carburetor.
Oh my God,
Yeah, it's complicated.
Oh,
It
yeah,
is.
yeah, and it is there for pleasure. If you make it all the way through, okay, because things go in things, and other things go in other things, and
there are some things that and we've talked. I remember one time we did. I think we were doing an appearance at maybe Risque's store or whatever when it existed, and there were things in there I would have thought were actually involved in construction that were that. There's no way that is a sexual thing.
But Kath, when we're talking about sending things to people, and I have done that, I've sent things to you, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And then I go, oh wait, no, she has sent me the picture of that guy sitting on the on the side of his bed
with his giant penis.
with his giant thing hanging out. I'm like, okay, I think I might be safe here.
I love when they will insert. They will have like a dignitary at some meeting, like a parliament, and they will insert that picture in one of the frames behind him.
Dude, the latest one, it was a COVID test.
Yep.
And I sent it to Kathy. I'm like, dude, I think I came back positive, and she's like, dude, I got this like 3 days ago.
I didn't say that. I sent you a screenshot of the text that Preston sent me
I had already
said,
sent
I think
it to
I
her.
tested positive.
There was only one person I wanted to send that to, and that was Kathy. Yeah, listen, I bought Kathy for one of her birthdays, like a butthole polisher one time. Right?
Yeah,
I thought it was nice.
Right?
Yeah. So you can't cross the line with her.
No.
I don't think so.
No, there's. I don't. Yes, I don't get offended by anything. I don't think it's all funny, but I don't. Right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I don't get offended if you get me a butt plug.
Like I've lost. I traded in, and I've always said this. I say of offensive things all the time. I do not have the right to get offended. It's just it's my deal.
Right.
If I dish it out, I have to be able to take it.
Right.
But if Kathy ever wanted to get us fired,
Oh my God!
Jesus. Oh yeah, there's so much ammo. It's not even.
I mean,
Then all you have to do
remotely
is
funny.
show the text from her on the phone.
Yeah.
You'll be reinstated.
I will also
my mind.
I will also think of the time that you put a Sharpie in my butt crack, and you don't remember that, but I do. I'm
No.
like, yes.
Did I draw on your butt?
No. I was like bent over, and my crack was showing, and you were like,
Wow. Okay.
Do we have it over the audio?
No, I don't. Are you editing it?
It might
Marissa?
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need to hear all of it. It's just I want to get the tone of this guy that is doing the narration for it. That is actually the instruction. It's like he's being as serious as you can possibly be about it.
I love that.
And talking about this stuff that's just like
It's like these things. We never play these fully, but
Dad, can I talk to you for a minute?
yeah.
yeah, there's a much longer piece of that. But I love. And
What is the exact product?
I don't
It's like
even
a pleasure
know.
device. It's something you buy for, and
It's
there's
got to be extremely expensive
Yeah,
because it's super complicated.
I was curious as to what the cost was, but it's for the front and the back and the underneath.
Simultaneously?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
is
the
it
thing
like
that
a,
goes
is it
in
like
the
a
back-
Sibian?
The thing that goes in the back, no, it's like nothing you've ever seen before.
Is it a revolution in home entertainment?
Like I can't even explain it.
Okay, so remember when we were talking about packing a flounder before?
Yes,
Okay.
uh-huh.
So there's essentially this thing that packs a flounder for you, but it's there to
here we
stimulate things.
Oh.
So it,
Okay.
But it's just wild that, like, Press, you talk about the narration, but like somebody also had to animate this.
Yes,
like,
there's a professional animator with it too. Here, I'll play some of it.
Before using the Shinfly full coverage men's massager, all body parts in contact with the massager and the massager itself shall be fully cleaned.
Uh-huh.
After assembling the massager, lock the rear massage bar in the initial position, adjust the front massage bar to the maximum angle away from the body, and tie the belt at the waist.
There's a belt.
Smear
Okay.
the orange lubricant on the anus and surround.
Whoa, you got to watch that one.
She missed that.
She missed that one.
That's okay.
I would say
The anus sensor. Yeah.
So
It is funny what we can and can't say because it's all technical terms.
it is.
You
But
know,
there are some. We get away with murder in so much.
And
that
the
it's-
skin.
Yeah.
The surrounding skin of the perineum, thigh, inside, and all surfaces of massage head in contact with the skin uniformly.
Okay, that's all we're gonna play.
So initially when I saw the picture of it, I thought it was one of those office chairs that you sit in that doesn't have a back to it, but it's actually a device that you wear. You can wear standing up. There's a pin on it like a grenade.
I would need the instructions for this device. What the hell?
This you have seen nothing like this. I want to get one of these in the studio. Do they have a price?
No, but I'll bet you it's a few $1,000s. Look at this.
So
Wait, I'm sorry.
See, that wraps around.
is that supposed to go over your Johnson?
Oh, yeah.
And then it goes up and
There
down.
you go.
Watching the animation. But what I can't figure out is the seat part of it.
The seat looks like a ski boot.
It does. It looks like a ski boot.
So you sit on a ski boot.
Hey,
while it.
Without looking behind you, Steve, who do you think is in the studio now?
Bill?
Yes. He just came into the studio. He's shaking his head. He's
He
not
has
happy.
one of these.
it was his birthday on Sunday.
He came in to clarify.
he's going to let us know the price.
What do those things cost, Bill?
You should get one that instead of a motorcycle seat.
Bill, honestly, have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
You know, I'm in my office last night, long after you've gone.
Right.
I listened to the Kathy Menstrual Cup segment because I missed it live.
Right.
What'd you think? It's pretty straight ahead, right?
No,
There was look. It's like, well, I actually looked up. It's been so long since we've talked about FCC and the liability of obscenity and all of that stuff. It hasn't been in the conversation. I looked up the definition again, and I think you guys are dancing on that line because it has something to do with sexual or excretory activities and organs, which is what
There's nothing sexual about it. I mean, it's all
it deals with
biological, if anything.
It deals with a sexual organ,
right? Yeah, like a Wurlitzer.
By my by Kathy's very apt description of what that does. Anyway, and you're doing this today. I'm like, I dumped the lubricant on the thing.
Yes, which we would only.
I gotcha.
Our agreement with you is always we'll swing for the fences and you excise what you think is appropriate.
People are wondering what the name of it was. Again, I'll play the beginning. Just it says the name of this.
Before using the Shinfly full coverage men's massager,
Shinfly full coverage men's massager.
So I need to imagine because so much of this is written and appears to be in Mandarin, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely an Asian product, I believe. But it's got subtitles, which brings us full circle to the conversation we started.
Says great for dads and grads.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. So today's discussion just kind of brought me back to those good old days where we're really working the dump buttons. But
good.
Yeah. So
By the
maybe
way,
a
Bill,
Preston
go ahead.
Preston and Steve logo in the merch shop in the rock shop. You know, we could make some money on this.
Yes.
Right?
Dave Matthews on MMR, Trippin' Billets. 93.3 WMMR, 16 minutes after 10 on
a Friday morning. We have a concert-related Word of the Week prize that we'll give away just a little while. We got some other things we need to give away, so why don't we do that right about now via the lesson question. And today's prize, pair of tickets for the Metallica 72 Seasons World Tour live broadcast coming to movie theaters nationwide, 2 nights only, August 18th and 20th. And the question we pose to you is this. What is John Wayne's secret ingredient for his casserole? 215-263-WMMR. Actually had the recipe for a casserole that was created by John Wayne. And let's see if you heard what the secret recipe was, or the secret ingredient, according to him. 215-263-WMMR. We'll do the trash while you call.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, brought to you this morning by Sport and Social. You can cheer on the Fightins just steps away from the stadium at Sports and Social, and which is inside Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. And you can watch the game on a 52-foot big screen with Budweiser, cocktail specials, giveaways, memorabilia, and more. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Hulk Hogan announcing he is engaged to his girlfriend, yoga instructor Sky Daly. Hogan says Sky is absolutely everything he wants in a granddaughter.
Hey!
A mistrial has been declared and bear with me on this, in hip-hop double murder case of YNW Melly and his co-defendant, YNW Bortland, who were accused of killing Christopher Juvie Thompson Jr. and Anthony Sackchaser Williams in 2018. The decision was delivered by Judge James I should have gone to medical school Smith.
Sackchaser?
Sackchaser.
Okay, it's a new one for me.
That's all legitimate names. And finally, Cardi B revealing that she spent $20,000 on custom swings for her daughter, Culture. Cardi says, just like every other kid, Culture is spending more time playing with what the swings came in, a cargo ship.
And that's your Hollywood Trash. All right, thank you, Steve. Let's see if somebody knows the answer to this. What was the secret ingredient for John Wayne's casserole? And we'll go to Craig for the answer. Hi, Craig.
Hey, what's up, bitches?
Hi, bitch. We need to know the answer. What's the secret ingredient in John Wayne's casserole?
It's Dog Duke.
Yeah, it's dog. A little bit of Duke. All right, hang on, my man. You are a winner. And we're going to set you up with a pair of tickets for the Metallica 72 Seasons World Tour live broadcast, which is coming to movie theaters nationwide for 2 nights, only August 18th and 20th. Experience the M72 World Tour on the big screen live from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. You can see the band playing 2 nights with 2 completely different sets. For tickets and a list of area theaters, visit Metallica.film.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
All right. Rita's our sponsor. You had Rita's try the new peach ring ice, or add delicious frozen custard for a peach ring gelati, or as a peach ring frozen drink. We talked about this earlier this morning in the Entertainment Report. This is sad news. Randy Meisner, the retired co-founding member of the Eagles, has passed away at the age of 77. A statement was released last Thursday. He passed away in Los Angeles on Wednesday night due to complications from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Do you know what's interesting, Preston? I know you've watched the Eagles documentary over and over. I have. I love it. Whenever I get a chunk of time, I'll just put it on and crank up the surround system and just love everything that I'm hearing. And because of that, he seems that age. You know what I'm saying?
Eternally.
So eternally, he's kind of locked in that, which is kind of cool in a way, you know?
Yeah. The bassist, along with Glenn Frey, Don Henley, and Bernie Leadon, formed the Eagles in 1971. He co-wrote the song Take It to the Limit, which, of course, he sang and contributed to several of the rock band's most beloved albums, including Desperado, Eagles on the Border, One of These Nights, and Hotel California. The iconic band posted in part, Randy was an integral part of the Eagles and instrumental in the early success of the band. His vocal range was astonishing, as is evident on his signature ballad, Take It to the Limit. So we have a clip of that live here when he really hits the high notes at the very, very end of the song.
Randy Meisner.
So here's a question. Vocally, band-wise, what? I mean, obviously the Beatles. You know what I'm going to ask.
Best harmonies?
Yeah.
I would put the Eagles right up there with them.
Yeah.
I mean, just so rich and the tone of each of their voices meshes so well together. There was who was I listening to not that long ago that I said I thought they ranked up there. I think the Doobie Brothers are overlooked, vocally powerful band, and you hear some of their songs. If you listen to listen to the music, and that chorus of listen to the music, and you break down those vocal parts, it's so damn good, so tasty.
The Gibbons Kids?
Gibbons Kids. Mamas and the Papas had a really great blend of four voices as well.
Listen. Live.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Don Felder once called Randy Meisner the sweetest man in the music business. Prior to his success with the Eagles, he was a bassist for the band Poco. In the early 1980s, he actually charted some solo songs on the Billboard pop charts. He had a duet with Kim Carnes called Deep Inside My Heart and Hearts on Fire, and the high harmony vocalist also played and sang on other artists' records, including James Taylor's Sweet Baby James album.
Poco's In the Heart of the Night is one of my favorite songs of all time.
In 1998, when the Eagles were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he performed Take It Easy and Hotel California with them. He was born in 1946 in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, was married twice, first time when he was still in his teens, and he was married to his second wife until she passed away in 2016, and he had 3 children. So a sad loss in the world of great music.
CSNY.
CSNY? Yeah,
Vocal
there
harmonies.
you go. Yeah, that one's staring you right in the face.
Oh, my
right?
God. So that was a band that was lightning in a bottle. The moment as Joni Mitchell was like, look, they're all standing around and they harmonize in the kitchen. The David Crosby documentary, he documents it. They go back to the house. They're standing outside the house, which at this time belongs to someone else. But he's saying it was right up in that room there, and they started just singing, and everyone was like,
we got something.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Scorpions members Klaus Meine, Rudolf Schenker, and Matthias Jabs have been awarded by the Prime Minister of their hometown of Hanover, Germany, with the Great Lowry Saxony Cross of Merit.
Good for the Jobber.
The award is given to recognize one's service to the state. The band shared a photo from the event and wrote it was a fantastic celebration. We would like to thank Prime Minister Stephen Wheel and the state of Lower Saxony for the presentation of this wonderful honor.
Did they mention what they served at the dinner?
What they what?
The dinner, the awards dinner?
No, they did
Was
not.
it chicken marsala?
It probably was.
Germany, though, right? I mean,
yeah, maybe it was
like a Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzer marsala.
Or some knockwurst or something. The Prime Minister pointed out that they have always promoted peace in their lyrics.
So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. And then finally, the Pretenders have dropped a new single from their upcoming studio album, Relentless. Chrissy Hind says, A Love, which is the name of the song, is the most traditional Pretender-sounding song on the album. She commented through a press release and said, and this is a standard Chrissy Hind type of thing, I often see love and relationships almost in the same vein as drug addiction. Although having said that, I know I am jaded and cynical. The new video features footage of the legendary band's recent live run at small UK clubs and is now streaming on YouTube, if you'd like to see that. They are currently on tour and doing some shows with Guns N' Roses.
I wonder what that's like.
By the way, yeah. And that is the last story in music news for you this morning. All right, this is our final break. We'll come back in a second. We'll get the letter of the day, give away the word of the week prize, and then we'll turn things over to the master, Pierre Robert. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
I get all. Wait, hang on. Let me see.
All body parts in contact with the massager and the massager itself shall be fully cleaned.
I think you're better than this guy.
Yeah. I don't know what you want from me. Santa's got to go.
All right, I'm going to go. Santa's got to go. All right, so you need to see this thing. You need to do a search on the. Hold on, what was the name of it?
I mean, it'd be easier to go out and get a girlfriend.
Yes,
by far.
Just putting this thing on, just all the straps and hooks. And various things you need to put together to put this thing on your body is more work than going out and trying to get an actual relationship.
And what do you think? It's like, you're at the office. Can I come in? No!
Before using the Shinfly Full Coverage Men's Massager.
Shinfly Full Coverage Men's Massager. Marissa?
We're sharing it on all of our social media
Okay.
accounts,
All right.
so
You
can
got to
find the
see
link
this
there.
thing. There's nothing full-on graphic
No,
about
everything
the
is-
animation, but I mean, it's
suggested.
It's certainly suggested, but I've never seen anything like this product before.
I mean, there has to come a point about 3 minutes into using it where you just feel like the lowest scum on earth.
Or you finally found the greatest
euphoric.
thing that's been created by man.
Honey, I want a divorce.
Wow. Okay. All right, Eddie Vedder is heading out on the road tomorrow night in support of his new solo set, Earthling. Vedder kicks off a 9-date run at New York City's Beacon Theater, although he played a surprise show last night, right, Nick?
He did, yeah. He was in a place just outside of New York City, and the Earthlings were with him, and that's Chad Smith and Josh Klinghoffer and a few other guys. And so there's a whole bunch of songs that I've never heard of that he did last night. And then, tomorrow night at the Beacon Theater, and then Friday night at the Beacon Theater. And I will be attending Friday night show.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
While chatting with the New York Times, the Pearl Jam frontman recalled discussing his and the band's career with U2's Bono, who had very specific opinions and advice for Vedder.
What do you think about baloney?
He does.
I like it.
He recalled saying, I've had a conversation with Bono back in the day. He was suggesting that we needed to work harder and that you didn't want rock and roll to become a niche. And he said that when U2 makes a record, it's like they've got a racehorse and they don't want the horse to in the race. They want to win the race. And I said, we race the horse and then we let the horse run free. He said, I wasn't trying to be...
To be honest, I don't know what you're talking about.
He said, I wasn't trying to be clever. That was the truth. And he was frustrated with me.
Do me a favor and put this device on. I think you're going to enjoy it. What is it? This part here goes over your manhood. This thing that looks like a ski boot rests just behind your nutsack. Now do a deep knee bend. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I see what you mean. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
His voice gets even shakier. There you go.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Isn't that something? It's crazy.
You had to have heard our earlier discussion in order to understand exactly what we're referring to. But the video is now on our social media if you want to see.
And call this part the everlasting bum stopper.
Oh, my God. Hang on. I can't see the copy here.
And the video's back up again.
It's just such a clunky looking thing.
It is. There's no way to describe it.
Okay. No, you may not want to eat for this next segment that we're going to talk about.
Oh, man. Okay.
Kathy told us last night on a little phone call, and she prefaced this by saying,
I want to share something with you guys. And she says, because we're family and we can talk about these things.
By the way, Casey was not on the call at this point, so this is going to be a surprise
He
for
called the end of
Casey.
it.
I go, what did I just walk into? And you guys said, you just wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Yeah. So you want to try something out, I believe?
do. Yeah, I want to try something out. And when I say we're family, I mean us in the room and everyone that listens to the show.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm going to try a menstrual cup.
Oh, my
menstrual cup.
Wow.
Yeah, a cup. I'm so surprised. A cup.
Me too.
And in no small part, because your reaction anytime Preston has ever brought this up is just complete revulsion. And
That's
so,
what
like,
we thought.
The fact that you're coming around on it, and I've heard a lot of people rave about it. I'm proud of you. I think that that's like a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they still existed. I thought that this was a thing from years ago. Now, listen, I don't know nothing about menstrual sickness and all that. But it seems antiquated to me.
Well, so I think it's becoming a little more popular because they're saying that there's benefits to it. It's safer than wearing a tampon. It holds more, so you can go throughout the day, without having to change it. It's better for the environment, things like that.
Okay, so when you're saying it holds more, are we talking like a quart or what?
Well, Steve, I haven't used it yet, so I don't know, and that's part of my issue. I wanted to. I'm hoping that Mother Nature, the flow, kind of goes along, and I get it on the weekend because I'd love to try it, not having to come to work.
Well, isn't that a big? Well, you had mentioned in passing last night that was one of the things they mentioned. Don't take your first cup out for a spin while you're going into work.
Yeah, so apparently, yeah. So I'm on a group text with my girlfriends, and
the cuppers.
I think that 3 out of the 3 out of the 5 of us use it, and they were like raving about it. Go for it. No, you have to. Here's the one I use. Here's the one I use. There's different options out there. And so
do they have Yetis?
So me and the one girl who don't use it, we were like, okay, well, give us the what should we do? And the suggestions were. Don't try to take it out the first time, at least, or until you get used to it, anywhere but your own home and possibly even the shower.
Not at the mall.
Right. Well, that's what I'm worried about. I'm like,
not on all white Wednesdays.
Well, and so my other white Wednesday. My other issue is, how much does it hold? Because
again. So as Preston said, we don't know, nothing about this. And I too thought it was something like an antiquated, turn of the last century sort of thing. But so I do understand that it's probably very safe. The purpose is will it stop any flow? Will it?
Well, yes.
So it basically dams it up, correct?
Yeah, it holds it. So when you take it out, it's still there, and you have to clean your cup and stuff like that. But
I never see. You don't see ads for these.
No.
You know what I mean? Like tampon commercials are a regular thing.
The cup might be too much for like a television commercial.
I know why we were talking about this. I had a bizarre file story of a guy who was drinking tequila out of it. He thought it was a shot glass. And it was a menstrual cup, and his girlfriend or wife had posted it online, and that's how we got talking about it.
Okay, so I don't know, Kathy. Listen, we don't know nothing about menstrual cycles here, but how many pints will you on a heavy flow day?
How many pints?
How many gallons?
I'm not measuring them.
Okay.
Case, I don't know. That's the problem because these menstrual cups they're not huge.
No.
So, I mean, I'm guessing they're made for the average to hold the average woman's.
Okay, so in the demonstration we're looking at here, Kathy, the woman dips a tampon down into some, which we assume is actual.
I don't think it's
actual blood.
I think it's probably water.
It obviously then it becomes larger, and so it basically serves as a plug.
I mean,
you would do this every. For how many days during your normal
cycle?
Like the tampons,
yeah, like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Excuse me, it depends.
And do you pour that into a larger jug that you keep at the front door?
But it's so.
It's like my belly button lint collection.
Ew.
I haven't started.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Please talk.
The other thing is, and I've watched videos, and not graphic videos, like the videos that we're watching here.
Down, bringing us to a close on a Friday. Your work week, our work week. 10:36. And warm today. You've heard all about it. You've heard the warnings and all that stuff. Yeah, today is the peak.
of the heat. Yesterday, actually, we got a little bit of a break.
I thought it was fine.
Could have been a lot worse. That cloud cover helped out a bit. It's not going to be here today, so the 95-degree range is going to feel augmented by the humidity and the sun. So just a heads up on that. But we get breaks tomorrow, 92. Some afternoon thunderstorms. That brings in cooler weather with Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, topping off at 82 degrees. Yes.
That's pretty
a wonderful thing.
I wonder what the weather will be like for. We've had a history of toasty belly flop challenges. I wonder what the long term is.
I've not looked into next Thursday. We'd have to look at the
There's shade and everything back there, and you obviously have the pool and all that. But it's nice if it's not 1,000.
I do remember a couple times where it was like, dude, it's freaking hot out here.
It was back sweat season one year.
Yeah.
Remember when me and Richard Curtis, is that his last name?
Yeah.
We wore like basically the same outfit to the event.
Yes.
And we looked like we were a honeymoon, a couple going on their honeymoon on a cruise.
Yep.
It was hilarious.
Well, you are free to join. Oh, it's 81 degrees next Thursday.
Oh!
That's fantastic.
Even more reason to come down.
Yeah, if it turns out to be that, that's wonderful. So it's like being at the beach. They've got, it's sand and tiki bars and obviously the pool and decks and there's a food truck there. And Pierre, did you hear about this? They are having a special sandwich called the Pierre Burger.
I did hear about this.
And I need to find out which food truck that is because I don't know off the top of my head. But how can you not order the Pierre Burger? It's a vegetarian burger.
Right.
Yeah.
And is this being made by the food truck or by the? Okay, cool.
Yep. So it is by the truck, from what I've been told. So that'll be served. It's next Thursday, 6 to 8, not crazy late. And come and join us, please. 21 and over event. Lots of beverages and a damn good time, and people making a lot of waves in the pool.
It's amazing. It's Preston. So the video's running, and as you pointed out many times before, we've had very thin people just crush it at the Belly Flop Challenge.
Yep. And the themes are great. That's what makes it.
Yes.
So we've got some really good ones that we've been taking a peek at, and we'll reveal who the contestants are next week. It's going to be cool. Thank you to Orlando Jones.
Yay!
Came on the program. His film is called Till Death Do Us Part. It is in theaters on August 4th. And thank you to Jersey Mike's.
So nice.
They brought lots of lunch for the staff here. And I want to thank Usman Chaudhry, I think that's how you say his last name, from the Feasterville store. And he made all this food for us, and it was wonderful. And we are very happy to pass along the goodies like we did today. And they have the lunch boxes, which you can grab, which are fantastic. All right, shall we get prepared to give away our prize, sir?
I think so.
All right, let's do this now.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, and the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
L as in love.
I'm going to take the first caller.
Ooh!
Very rarely do that. First caller at 215-263 WMMR who knows the word of the week. Call now, and we'll see if we can set you up with that prize.
Excellent.
Do you have some good things in store?
Many, many, and more. I will have one more pair of Outlaw Music Festival tickets, and I think we have Willie on vinyl. If we do, we're going to play that as our vinyl cut later on, and that features Willie Nelson next weekend, August 5th. Also, we will have Papa Roach for Jacoby's birthday. We have a block of Santana at the Hard Rock tonight and tomorrow. And also at the FM Center tonight over in Camden, you've got Godsmack and Stained. So all of those will be covered in various forms in the workforce blocks.
You know, I casually hypothesized that this was probably a wildly inventive week for the Pierre Robert show.
Yeah.
Only because there was a lack of oversight. Would that be correct?
That there's some truth to that. However, oversight has never stopped me before.
No, that's true. So when you remove what little there is, or that you adhere to,
right? I don't see much reason for oversight. We know how to do this, so it's all good.
Bill's out of town, for those who don't know, and so's Chuck.
Both of the bosses are away, and it is the duty of the mice to play.
That it is.
Exactly.
All right, it's their duty. All right, let's see if we can get a winner. Our first caller is Sammy. Hey, Sammy.
That would be a waste of time.
That would be a waste of time.
Back off, Sammy. Seriously.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
What's our word of the week, buddy?
Carl.
I'm sorry, that is not correct.
What is he?
No.
You said Carl, C-A-R-L?
Carl, good to see you.
Pierre says no.
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
not
buddy.
Yesterday's letter. I'm really sorry. Yesterday's letter was.
He's right. I remember.
That would have meant yesterday's letter was R, and I'm
You said
really
that.
sorry, Carl, but it's not Carl.
Okay. All right.
Rare
That's all right.
that we don't get this.
We'll get Mike. See if he knows.
Hi, Mike.
All right, Mike, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the word?
The word is call.
Great
Call.
day in the morning. Yeah, you did say L yesterday.
Yep, and yes, previous caller did say Carl for sure. All right, hang on, bud. We're gonna set you up with a pair of great seats, VIP passes, and a PRS guitar signed by Godsmack for the Godsmack and Stain show tonight, my man. Okay?
Yes, thank you, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks, buddy. Hang on the line. We'll get your information, and they're playing at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. MMR's Rock Residency, and tickets available at you can text the word Godsmack 39333 and we'll send you the link over and picture of the guitar and all that good stuff.
Nice.
So make sure you do that. All righty then. I would like to thank our sponsors. President Steve Show is brought to you today by Duncan. President Steve Show runs on Duncan. Also brought to you by Trinity Rehab with locations all over and now open in King of Prussia. Trinity-rehab.com. Next week on the program, comedian Gary Owen.
Oh.
One of the guests I'll mention here, and we'll add to that list later on. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have a great day. And if you're going to the Union game tonight against Wrexham, maybe we'll see you there. A few of us are going to the game. So have a great weekend. Safe weekend. Bye-bye.
Preston and Steve.
On 93.3 WMMR. Mm-hmm.